Okay, hello. Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? Right, I sound like Verizon Wireless, right? The Verizon. You guys remember that? The Verizon Wireless people? Can you hear me now? No? Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now? What about now? Hello? Can you hear me? Oh my goodness. Okay, are we back on? Yes. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hello everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh my goodness. Hello. I don't know why my technical difficulties suck, but we are back. Yes, yes. Okay, I'm so glad. Oh my god, you guys, I nearly had a heart attack. I'm like, why is my microphone not working? It wasn't my microphone. It was actually my. It's called OBS Studio, right? It was my OBS Studio, my software that I use. It wasn't registering my microphone. And then, obviously, right? I'm panicked because it's happening live and I'm like, "Ah, hold on guys, give me a second." Oh man, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I fixed it. Any time that I have technical difficulties like this, I freak out. I freak out because I'm really bad with technology, you guys. I know kind of it makes no sense, right? Because I do YouTube for a living. So I know it kind of makes no sense that I don't know technology, but I just panic. I panic. Um, yeah, my tech guy is actually Elliot, but he's sleeping, so that's why I couldn't bother him. He's usually my tech guy. He'll come up and I'm like Mr. Butters or sometimes Elliot, right? They'll kind of be hanging out. But if it's Elliot, I do ask him to help me. So I just lift him up and he's here like dun, 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 right? He's a little heavy set boy. He's my little chonker. So my little chonker would just climb up and, start pressing all the keys. And sometimes it works, right? He fixes it somehow. I'm like, how do you do that? But anyway, okay. I'm so glad it's working now. Yay. Welcome back, you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for coming back. Um, yeah, thank you guys so much. Oh my goodness. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys had a really good weekend, a really good restful weekend. Um, yeah, you guys, I really needed some rest. I needed some rest. I really did. Uh, I think it has been a really rough week. I'm gonna say it's been a really rough week with so much work going on and then a bunch of other stuff on the side. And so I think I just kind of overdid it. And at the end of the weekend, I just felt so tired. I'm so exhausted and I just needed to rest. I just needed it. I'm glad I did it though, because now I feel so much better. Right? Like my eyes don't feel heavy. Like when you don't get that much sleep or you do feel exhausted because you might work in front of the computer or something and your eyes just feel like they're like, uh, right? They're heavy. Even if you're drinking coffee, you're still like, "Ugh, let me open my eyes." Right? You're like really trying your best to keep your eyes open. That's how I was. Right. So I'm feeling a lot better now. I'm so glad I got a little bit of rest. Okay. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for joining our Monday live stream. Today we're going to be listening to Lauren Arnold. This one, thank you guys so much for sending this to me. And I will say I have a whole list of videos that we have to watch together, guys. So I'm getting through them. Okay, believe me, I'm getting through them. I see it in the comments. I see it in the community posts. So we're going to get through all of them. But this one is Lauren Arnold. Okay, and it is titled "The Warning Signs That Everyone Missed." I think this one is so important because it's Lauren Arnold, right? It's one of Shanann's closest friends. She saw Chris, right? She knew him, she interacted with him, and she saw changes in him over the past few months before he annihilated his whole family. So I think it's definitely important to listen to what she has to say, and be able to see if there's anything else that we can add to the calendar because, yeah, it's really important to hear what friends have to say about this. Um, yeah, let's go ahead and listen to Lauren Arnold. Very, very interesting stuff. We're going to be talking about Cindy Watts. I think this is why we have to really, really discuss this because we're going to hear, right? We're going to hear that not only was Chris distancing himself, possibly because who knows, right? Who knows what Chris was doing on the side, but also We know that the family was also doing a lot, right? And by family, we mean Cindy and, of course, Ronnie, right? Ronnie Watts. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and listen to what Lauren Arnold has to say about Chris and Cindy.
Friends all throughout high school, so for the whole 4 years. And then after we left, we lost contact for a year or so. And then we met up again when she lived in Charlotte, and we stayed in close contact ever since then.
Okay.
And then we both happened to move out here, so.
Just coincidentally?
They moved out here first.
Okay. When you say they, who are you referring to?
Her and Chris.
Okay.
They moved out here, I think it was around 5-ish years ago. And then my ex-husband and I moved out here a year afterwards. He's in the military, so we got stationed out here
Oh, cool.
conveniently.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I wonder where he got stationed. Probably what, like the Air Force Base or something? I wonder where he got stationed. What branch was he in? But okay, so friends, right? They've been friends since North Carolina. They conveniently, right? She said, "Oh, conveniently, we ended up stationed in the same place as them." Okay, so Chris and Shanann moved out to Colorado before them. Okay, so we're tracking. We're tracking. All right, let's continue.
So, so obviously you met Chris.
Yes.
So, tell me about the first time you met Chris. Do you remember?
Yes, my ex-husband and I went over there for dinner. It was like right when we moved here, so it was 4.5 years ago.
Okay.
So
we're talking late 2013. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think when I moved here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it was either 2013, 2014.
Okay.
No, 2014.
2014. Okay.
Yeah, we moved here in August of 2014, so
Okay.
we went over there within like a month or so of us moving here.
Okay.
So is that their house in Frederick?
Yes.
It is.
Okay. For dinner, you said?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And anything, that was the first time you met Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you go to their wedding?
No.
Okay.
No, I think I was in California at that time, so I couldn't go.
Okay. All right. So what was your first impression of Chris?
He was really nice. He was,
Potato-y. Right. I wonder what else she wants to add. What was your first impression of Chris? He looked a little potato-y. Yeah, his head was weirdly shaped. His eyes looked a little googly and spinny. One of them just kind of spins on its own, has a mind of its own. It's just kind of wandering off into outer space. That's probably what I would have said. That's what I would have said. Colorado Springs. Yes, there we go. Anna, yes. Right. I'm like thinking about all these places where he would be stationed. But yeah, you're so right. There's so many other stations in Colorado Springs. Yeah, Beth of a Salesman. Yes, Carmex is addictive. You know, I did tell you guys I finished my other chapstick, so now I'm on to this one. It's the squishy kind. So this one I don't have to, stab it. Right? I'm like here, like, let me get it out. No, I can just squeeze it all out. He was nice, like a well-made baked potato. Yes, yes, there we go. Let's love let's love the roast. Let's go ahead and start it. Very early on, right? I mean, we can't watch a Chris Watts video without roasting him. I mean, it's impossible. It's impossible. Come on, right? Come on. Here, let's go ahead and start a poll. Let's go ahead and start our first poll. Granted, we haven't really gotten through much of the video yet, but we need one, don't we? I think we need one. He was nice. Okay, I liked that. He was nice like a roasted potato. He was nice like a what, right? Like, what do we think that he was nice like? Chris was nice like a. Okay, so what would your first impression of Chris be? That is going to be our first question. Ay, ay, ay. What would your first impression of Chris Watts be? Okay, let's go ahead and start this poll. with the questions. Okay, so what would your first impression be? Okay, so potato-y, right? Okay, so let's just go ahead and go with the obvious one. Potato-y, right? He's very potato-y. What else? What else do we think? Okay, what I love it. I love it, soily blue. Short-legged. Oh, man. Oh, I love it. I love it, guys. I love it. See, this is what I miss. Anytime I miss a live stream, I feel empty inside. I feel like I'm missing something. Why am I not roasting Chris today, right? Like I feel like my day isn't fulfilled if I don't roast Chris or Nicole Kessinger, right? I feel that like I need it, it's like ugh, I need the roast. So I'm so glad that we're back doing this. Okay. Okay, and then what else? What else? What is Should we do all of the above? Right? Should we do all of the above? A rotten spud? Yes. A balding asparagus? Silent silent fart that doesn't a ninja, right? One of those little ninja ones, like, "Meep," and you're like, "What the hell is that?" And then it just comes back to kick you in the face. Yeah, one of those. A sleaze? Yeah, yep. Yeah, I agree, I agree. Oh, man. All the yes, all the above for no inclination. Alright, here, let's go ahead and do all of the above. All of the above. Alright, guys, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and start this poll. Very early on. I know we're all here because we wanna hear the call and whatnot, we wanna hear the audio, but we also want those polls. I know some of us just we feel those withdrawals. I know I do. I know I do. Alright, guys, first poll of the day. What would your first impression of Chris Watts be? Potato-y? A bit slow in the brain? Short-legged, right, all torso? Or all of the above? Oh, man. Can you imagine this guy trying to run, right? Trying to do track and field. His little legs just go and he doesn't move. He's just still stuck in place. He's just like, "All right, Chris, are you gonna move?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm running as fast as I can." I am pole hungry. Yes, tiger. Potato with spores. You never got a skater vibe from Chris? See, neither did I. Or I don't know, some of the earlier pictures maybe, right? The earlier pictures, he looked a little I don't know, I still wouldn't say he's skater boyish though, right? I don't know. Did he ever spike up his hair? I never saw him with spiked up hair, unless he had spiked up hair and I didn't see it. I didn't see it. A tool from his own toolbox. Yes. Oh, I love that one too. Oh man, skater boy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to be a gym bro. I want to be gym bro. Oh man, you guys have really, really good ones. Okay, guys. All right, let's go ahead and listen. Let's go ahead and listen to Lauren's first impression, which I'm sure she's gonna say, "Oh yeah, he seemed very nice. He was very quiet, but he seemed very polite." Let's go ahead and hear if she probably says that he was potatoey at any point in time. He was a little squishy, a little spory, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, right? All right, you guys go ahead and vote, and let's go ahead and continue.
California at that time, so I couldn't go.
Okay. All right. So what was your first impression of Chris?
He was really nice. He was quiet, but he got along with my ex-husband really well. Sometimes husbands are weird with other husbands,
Yeah, right.
but they seemed to get along pretty well.
Mhm.
He seemed
Whoa.
attentive and nice.
Okay. Nothing unusual, nothing that struck you as out of the ordinary, um, anything like that?
No.
Okay. All right.
No, nothing, no, other than his little eyeball kinda just spinning in the air. Nothing else really seemed all that weird. Come on, right? See, this is the thing. A lot of people's first impressions were this, right? That's why a lot of people were so confused when they saw that Chris had annihilated his family. They didn't believe it because they're like, there's no way. He was so quiet and his eyeball was so spinny. I mean, he seemed like a normal potato. But in reality, he was a silent killer. Right? He was wearing this mask. It was all a facade. In my opinion, he's a psychopath, right? Like, again, I don't know because I can't diagnose the guy, but if we're going to be looking at all of the traits that are very much, that resemble that of a psychopath, I think that a lot of them Chris had, right? And so again, just my opinion, but I think that Chris was always a psychopath. He just blended in really, really well. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Eric, yes, he was very insecure around women. Right. And the fact that his head and torso were the same size and his legs never Right, yeah, he just had, like, little nubs, right? Little nubbins like this. Like, this is basically Chris, just add the 2 eyeballs, right? Oh, man, I don't you guys can't really I'm like, "How do I do this? How do I do this?" Right? Like, this is Chris. "Wee, wee, 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 wee." Just add the little eyeballs, and that's what Chris looked like. But yeah. She hashed from a potato egg too early, nubbins. Exactly, KTD, yeah, narcissists are never genuine. They're only genuine to your face, while you still benefit, while they still benefit from you or while they still benefit from your presence or your energy. But once you are disposable, that is it, right? You are disposable. Once you become an obstacle in their own selfish goals or their selfish needs, whatever they see in you is no longer needed, right? They're like, "Oh, nothing about you guys benefits me anymore." And then they throw you away like trash. It's so weird. It's so weird, the mind of a narcissist. But we definitely saw this with Chris. That reminded me of Beetlejuice. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Oh, man. AJS Dream. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Diamond. Yeah, let's go ahead and celebrate. Welcome to Diamond, AJ's Dream. Yeah, Christopher Christopher Nubbins. Yeah. Valerie, I agree. If you pay attention, I think you can tell a true narcissist. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just little traits, right? You notice people's traits, and even if we can't diagnose someone with narcissism, right? Because we can't, we're not psychiatrists or psychologists or anything. We can still observe the traits and then see if they somehow apply to narcissists. That's the best we can do, and I think that a lot of these traits applied to Chris the same way that they apply to Cindy. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue. Let's listen to what she has to say about Cindy, because that part is interesting.
And see, did they have Bella at that point? Was it Bella?
Yeah, that was Bella.
Okay,
Yeah, she was a baby.
just brand new then.
Hmm.
But you've been in pretty constant contact with Shanann
Yes.
before that, so pretty much from early 2000s to the time that they moved out here.
Yeah,
You guys-
yeah. I mean, I talked to her, like, we did wedding planning over the phone. I mean, I'd been talking to her pretty much the whole time.
Okay. Do you guys have much interaction with them over the next few years?
Within the last, like,
Yeah,
3
within the
years.
last, ever since this first meeting with Chris.
Oh yeah. I saw her more than him, but we pretty frequently would go over there for dinner, or they would have gatherings and stuff all the time. So, I mean, I was over there pretty frequently.
Okay. If you had to estimate, how many times have you been to their house?
Um,
A
I
lot.
would say at least once a month for the last 4 years.
Okay, so a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once a month. That's a lot. That's a lot. She definitely interacted a lot with Chris, huh? Wow. Hello, Elizabeth. You never really know how to pick out psychos. Yeah, you know what? Yes, I agree. I agree. Sometimes You can try your best, right? You can try your best and people still disappoint you, right? They still are very, very good at hiding who they really are. It is really only until you set boundaries with people that you see the true person, right? If there are no boundaries set, they will continue testing those boundaries. And once you set them though, you see the real person for who they are. And I think that is a very great way to test or be able to see if someone is a narcissist or not. Just set boundaries and see how they react. Yeah, cuz people who are narcissists don't like boundaries. They don't respect them. It's so weird. It's so strange. But anyway, let's continue. Oh, why is it not working?
Yeah, and I
Oh, it
talk to
is.
her pretty frequently. I mean, multiple times a week.
Okay.
So,
So would you consider you guys pretty good friends?
yeah,
Did she ever talk to you about Thrive or anything like that?
yeah, that was definitely her business and her motivation for everything. Um, I did it for a little while.
Mhm.
It wasn't really my thing,
I,
but
I guess I'm not real familiar with that. Can you kind of
yeah,
explain it to me?
it's like a nutrition lifestyle. So you have these like shakes that you drink every day and these tablets that you take and then these patches that you wear. And the patches are supposed to be full of vitamins and um I don't know, it was expensive to me, so I
Okay.
didn't stick with it. But she seemed to, I mean, I could see where it was beneficial with her.
Yep.
Because you know she has lupus, so she was always on like her medications, and she
Mhm.
was sick for a while. But this seemed to kind of help her.
See, the thing is that, even if we're going to talk shit about all of these MLMs, which they are, right? They're evil. I agree. I think MLMs are terrible. We shouldn't have them. They shouldn't be illegal. I think they're all Ponzi schemes. The thing is that some people really do believe in them. And Shanann was one of them. She really did believe in the product. It's not like she was actively scamming people. It's not like she knew that the product was bullshit and that it was a placebo and that it didn't work. I think that she genuinely believed in the product. She used it herself. She noticed a change in her energy levels. She was able to be more present for her kids and she was able to balance her children and her job, right? Children, job, life, right? Marriage life, uh, you know, uh, taking the girls to school, having to deal with everything that life throws at you. And she was better able and better equipped to do this because of the product. I mean, she really did believe in the product. And so I think for that, I just give her so much credit. It's commendable because she really, really tried really hard for this company, right? She really believed in it. And it's part of the problem that I have with a lot of people who will, see this as a flaw. Like, yeah, I understand that the MLM itself is a flaw because it's a Ponzi scheme, but some people really do believe in it. They really, really do. And there's nothing malicious about what these people are doing. They really do believe in the product. And Shanann was one of them. She really believed. Right. Yeah, exactly, Julia. Yeah, it worked for her. And because it worked for her, it was so easy for her to be able to sell it to other people. I think that when you believe in the product, whether you're selling something, for MLM or you work, retail, for example, right? And I'm only bringing up retail because, it's something that I did. If you believe in the product, if you work for a company and you really believe that the product helps people, it's a lot easier to sell because you can use your own experiences to be able to sell that to someone. And that's something that Shanann did really well. She was not only a really good salesperson, but she used her own experiences, all positive, to be able to sell this to other people. And so that's just something that I really, really wanted to clarify, especially just, yeah, so many people out there just talk negatively about the fact that she was an MLM, salesperson. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a job, right? It's still a job. And the blame should never be put on the people, right? The people that are selling the product. Yeah, yeah, MLMs are very expensive. Yep. Yeah, Avon is an MLM. It's a good product. It's just hard to make money. Yeah, exactly. Smart survival. Yeah. I think I said it in one of my live streams. My mom used to sell Avon and she really believed in it too. Like she used it all the time. And so it was easy for her to sell it because she's like, oh, yeah, I put this on my face. I have lotion all over my body. So it was easier for her to sell it to other people because she was using her own experiences with the Avon lotion, right? Even though, yes, it was an absolute pyramid scheme. My mom never made any money from it. She got all her money taken, if anything. Really, really evil, Ponzi schemes, in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no one's forcing anyone to join or take the product. All right, guys, let's continue.
Mentally and physically.
Listen to every single word. Now here is what I want you to understand coming out of that interview.
What is going on? Oh, there's AI in this? Okay, let's go ahead and
Lauren
forward this.
Arnold visited
She was,
at least once a month.
she had a lot more energy, and she wasn't as like sick and down, I guess you could say.
Okay. All
She
right.
wasn't.
Was that more of a function of a cleaner lifestyle, or do you think it was attributed to the Thrive product?
I think it was both. It's kind of like when you work out, you want to eat better. I think it kind of went hand in hand.
Okay. All right. And do you know if was Chris using that?
Yes.
She had him on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she had everybody on it.
It's kind of the impression I'm getting.
Yeah.
So if you were in contact with her, you were
Yeah.
part of it.
I mean, I gave it a shot.
Yeah.
I liked it. I don't know. I'm busy and
Mhm.
I just couldn't devote myself to it. So.
Yeah.
Right. See, she gave it a shot and she's like, you know what? It's not for me. It's not for me. But she said she liked it. I haven't tried any. Should I try it? I don't know. I've actually considered it. Just not because I want to thrive, right? I mean, I do want to thrive, just not in that way. Um, but I have considered trying it just as an experiment. You know how Kobach also, he's like, I don't know, do those work? So I know that Kevin Kobeck was probably trying it too. I don't know, probably so that he can get accepted into the fitness community with Nicole Kessinger. I don't know what his motivations were, but for me, I want to try them to see if it works. I really want to see what the big deal is. And then I also want to test Nicole Kessinger's own testimony, right? Her own words. Oh yeah, he would double patch. Did you know that, Kevin? He would double patch. Yeah. And then he would go to sleep and wake up in the middle of a sentence and be like, I want to see if that happens to me. I really do. I really do. I want to wear these patches and film myself and see if I wake up in the middle of the night like this. Oh my God, Mr. B. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Gia, oh yeah, I agree, girl. I agree. Elliot, did you fix my computer? Right? I just really want to see if that works. Anyway, guys, let's continue.
Well, I'm sure it's one of the things you gotta really commit to.
Yeah, you do.
During any of the times you were over at their house or had interactions with them, did you ever notice any tensions between them? Did they act weird towards each other? Anything like that? Did you ever notice?
No. No. They were kind of that like strive to be couple. They seem to be very equal in the way they do things. Like she would cook dinner, he would clean up. She would feed the kids, he would help get them ready for bed. I mean, it just seemed to be a very working relationship. They communicated really well with each other, as far as I could see. They were affectionate with each other. So.
Okay. Did you ever see any change in the level of affection?
Kind of, yes.
Ugh.
I don't know exactly when.
Okay, here we go, guys. Here we go. Okay, so she just said that they were very affectionate with one another, right? They had a really good communication. They worked as a team. I think this is the most important thing of all of this is that she witnessed Shanann and Chris performing as a team, right? As partners should, right? She would cook, he would clean. She would do this, he would do the other thing, right? She would take care of the girls, he would mow the lawn. That is what teamwork is, right? That was their agreement, at least, right? As a married couple. But notice that she's saying, yeah, it did start to change. Now, when did it start to change? Why did it start to change? And where did this drastic change really happen? This is what we're trying to get to the bottom of. Because I think it's crazy that this person is witnessing how communicative they are, right? They are talking to each other. And then all of a sudden, Chris starts to distance himself. Why? Why? Let's go ahead and listen.
What month is this? September. It's somewhere in the last 6-ish months. He was a little more standoffish.
Okay.
So whenever I would go over there, usually, he would be a little more interactive with us, I guess. And then the last, I guess, like 6 months or so, he would kind of just like stay to himself. Like he would come in from work and go upstairs and just kind of like distance himself.
Okay.
Okay, 6-ish months, she said. 6-ish months. Huh. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this. Let's go ahead and look at our calendar. Okay, so um this interview is happening, I'm gonna say around August, right? I just want to make sure. Closest friend. Okay, yeah, so it's around August. Let's just go ahead and say it's around August. So it looks like the changes were happening way back when, right? They were happening way before, is what she's saying. That the changes started happening around February, right? February, March. Is this around the same time that Nicole Kessinger started working at Anadarko? Yes, right? Anadarko. I think so. Does this change things, you guys? He was starting to feel standoff-ish. So when did Nicole Kessinger get hired with Tasman and then contracted out to Anadarko? February, right? Right? Around February. Okay, so then it tracks. This is so crazy. Exactly. When Nicole Kessinger came in. Wow. This is so crazy. This is wild. Didn't she Google twats that January? Oh my goodness. You know what? I think you're right. Here, let's go ahead and pull it up. Let's go ahead and pull it up. Oh my God. Okay. No, it's not that one. Right here. You guys see that? You guys see that? Holy moly. Here, let me go ahead and make it make it smaller. Look at this. Look at that. She Googled Shanann. Okay? She Googled Shanann in January. It adds up, doesn't it? Yeah, standoffish. That's a good question, Anders. Yeah, was he standoffish against Shanann? It sounds like she is describing him as standoffish with everyone, right? It sounds like he was already distancing himself even from friends, right? Because again, this is just my opinion. This is what I think. Um, when you have mutual friends and one of the partners is cheating, that cheater starts to distance themselves from anything that reminds them of that partnership, right? So they start to distance themselves from mutual friends, from family members, from anything that the couple does together. So I think that this is probably around the time that Nicole Kessinger got hired, right? She started working at Anadarko. They started, flirting, right? Being flirtatious. I mean, coworkers say all the time that they saw them canoodling, right? That they saw them hanging out and getting really close in the hallways and talking really closely and whispering to one another. So who knows? This is probably when it happened. Wow. He was behaving like a depressed person. Yeah, NK in February, early or March when she started. Nicole Kessinger started around February, right? She started around February because her contract was a 6-month contract. And so that means that, yeah. So it tracks. So Nicole Kessinger's Contract was 6 months, and then Chris started acting weird around 6 months ago. We need to put this in the calendar. Here, let's just go ahead and put, February 1st, right? Just to say, "Hey, it started in February." Right? Yeah, so Chris Watts acted standoffish, and it's also the time that Nicole Kessinger started at Anadarko, right? Give or take, give or take. Wow. Isn't that crazy? This is so crazy. See, these are the things that we don't know, right? We don't know any of this because this is not in the discovery. Unless it's in the discovery, we won't know about it. We have to hear other people's interviews. That shit's crazy. Distances himself. He immediately became obsessed with NK. Yeah, exactly, Julia. Her crab claws were out early. Clank, 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 clank. Yeah, I mean, she was definitely already, setting her target, right? Her eyes on this man. Oh my goodness. This is so crazy. Let's continue because holy shit. This is all tracking.
And that was definitely different than what you were used to.
Yeah, because normally he was always around, because we were always hanging out in the kitchen or in the living room with the kids or something like that. And he was always there interacting with all of us. Um, but I would say at least in the last 6 months or so, he was kind of more isolated to himself.
Okay. So let's say, if this hadn't happened.
That is so crazy. She was already after him long before June. Yes. Yeah. You guys, what the hell? Yeah. So that means that they had already met. You guys, they had already met. They had already met. They were already flirting. They were probably already talking. And so look at this. Okay, so NK starts. We put that NK started Tasman March 1st. But I don't think this is right anymore. She probably started Tasman in February, around the same time that Chris started distancing himself from the family and from the friends. Oh my goodness. And then look at this. We have April, May, right? Look at this. We also have another one in here that says NK possibility, right? That's possibly when they started talking to one another. But then look at this. On the 29th is when Shanann posted the baby video, right? The baby video where Chris comes in and he's like, "Oh crap." He doesn't really seem all that happy. And it's probably why. This is why. It's because he was already talking to Nicole Kessinger. What do you guys think? They were flirting in February. Yeah. Oh my god, they were already flirting, you guys. Okay, what do you guys think? Okay, let's go ahead and run this poll. Let's go ahead and end the last one. The last one is what what would your first impression of Chris Watts be? All the above. Okay, so potatoey, a bit slow in the brain, short-legged, right? He's all torso, or all the above. It is all the above. All right. That's a lot of first impressions, right? It's like, oh, there's a lot going on in this mess. It's a lot to decipher. Okay. Let's go ahead and man, I have so many questions now. Okay, what do we think about this? Okay, Chris started distancing himself 6 months prior. Okay, so why do we think that is? Okay, so the question is going to be, why was Chris Watts distancing himself? Do we think it's because Nicole Kessinger started working there? Okay, or do we think Chris was just kind of over it, right? Or was he on Tinder? Right? There are so many questions, so many questions. Now, I think it has to do with Nicole Kessinger. I wonder if she worked at the company with Chris Getman before her Tasman contract. That's a good question. That's a good question. What is the name of that company? I mean, we can look it up. We can look it up. But yeah, that's actually a good question. Yeah, exactly. Tommy's girl. Yeah, NK is why. I think so too. Definitely we should start working there. Mm-hmm. Okay. let's go ahead and do another one. Just to throw a bunch of, other options out there. He was over the marriage, maybe. Let's see. And he was focused on his fitness, maybe. Okay, let's go ahead and start this poll. I just want to see what you guys think. Next poll. He was bored. Oh, yes, Bray. I mean, I put he was depressed. Yeah, I guess, yeah, being bored would have been a good one too, huh? Why was Chris Watts distancing himself? NK started working at Anadarko. He was over the marriage. He was focused on his micros, on his macros, or he was depressed / bored. I think it all has to do with Nicole Kessinger. um, because she had to have an oil field related job in the area before she got a short contract. Maybe they met out in the field. That's a good question. That's a good question. I mean, she did contact him, so she definitely knew about him in a different way other than a like a coworker, I would think, right? Or more than an acquaintance because she was calling him, right? Calling his phone directly. I think he was depressed and then started searching for a clam. Oh, that's a good one. Soily Blue. Yeah, that's a good one. NK was focused on on his Yes. Yeah, she was focused on his micro. Oh. She Googled him in September of 2017. Yes. Don't forget resentment over financial issues. Yeah, Lucia. I don't want to put that in there. Just because in the timeline, it doesn't make sense that he would all of a sudden just become, resentful over financial issues. Right. I mean, the thing is, to me, it really makes no sense that he would become resentful all the way till May of 2018 when they had already filed for bankruptcy 3 years prior. You know, it's kind of a delayed resentment, right? It's like, oh, I'm resentful because we're broke, but he was, he waited 3 years to feel that resentment. I still think his personality screams skater boy, but that's just me. Yeah. Yes, Purple Mountains. Um, yeah, I'm not sure if people who are wired like Chris can get depressed. That's a good, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely, yeah, that's a good way to see it, Anders. All right, guys, let's continue.
Would that have caught your attention?
I mean, it did catch my attention, but I've been married before, so, I mean, it could have been, I mean, and I knew that they were having some issues, but nothing that would warrant any, a worry or anything.
Okay. Can you define issues for me?
Um, his mom was kind of a problem. They were
His
arguing.
mom was?
Yes, they were arguing a lot about his mom.
What was that about,
Um, it's kind of like the disrespect she had towards Shanann.
Okay.
And then her behavior towards Cece and her allergies and the way Shanann would parent, and she essentially was one of those like, I feel like she's making stuff up kind of people, and so she was trying to prove Shanann wrong. And so there's just a lot of conflict between, obviously because it's Chris's mom and then Shannon's mother-in-law, but there's kind of a disconnect there.
Wow. Wow. Interesting, right? Very, very interesting. They're bringing in how Cindy and her narcissistic traits were actually part of the problem, right? I mean, we already know this stuff though, right? We already know this. We know that Cindy created a lot of the problems in this marriage because she could not respect boundaries. See, listen to the part where it says that she, her friend, Lauren, felt like Cindy was making up a bunch of stuff. right? She was making up a bunch of things about Shanann. She really wanted to constantly prove Shanann wrong, right? So those were a lot of the problems. They were. They really were. Here, let's go ahead and listen to that again. Because the part where it says the disrespect towards Shanann, that one really stands out to me because, as we know, Cindy did not respect Shanann.
Um, it's kind of like the disrespect she had towards Shanann.
Okay.
Um, and then her behavior towards Cece and her allergies and the way Shanann would parent and
Notice that part. That is the part that really stood out to me. The way that Shanann would parent. Did you guys hear that? The way that Shanann would parent. Who else talks so much crap about Shanann's parenting? Everyone who is a twatter, right? If you're a twatter, whether you're on Reddit or whether you're a twatter on YouTube or a twatter on, all the other platforms, Rumble and whatnot. If you're a twatter, those people constantly bash on her parenting. Interesting, right? Interesting because to me, right, in my opinion, it kind of does sound like this was a smear campaign. It sounds like a smear campaign. The fact that Cindy had a problem with Shanann's parenting and then everyone else, right? All the twatters also have a problem with Shanann's parenting. It does really sound like a successful smear campaign based on how this murdered victim parented her children. All of it sounds made up, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Or just a closet twatter. Yeah. Oh my goodness. What do you guys think? This all my broken potato chips. That would be a really good chip brand, wouldn't it be? All my broken potato chips. That would be a really good like business marketing. You just grab the bag of potatoes and go right, all the potato chips and you just put them back on the display. You're like, "Oh yeah, here let me just grab these potatoes." There we go. We're selling them for $10 now. How would you even eat those bags of potato chips? Just with your hand, like you would scoop it, right? You'd be like, "Oh, yay. Crumbs." Gross. But yeah, isn't this crazy? Twatter equals people who defend Chris at all costs. Yes. The budget chips. Yeah, the budget chips. Do you want the potato chips or the budget chips? Oh yeah, go over there. Yeah, all the broken potato chips. Yeah, they're all the way at the bottom. Yeah, look under the aisle. It's like right under the all of that. Yeah, move the boxes. Yeah, there they are. They're all squished. Oh man, broken tater chips. Oh man, that's so funny. I love how easy it is to read it and the the accent that you write it in. It's funny. All my broken tater chips. Oh man. Use on top of casserole. Yes, $10 potato crumbs. Yeah, the Lord of chips. I love it. I love it. But yeah, this is so crazy. It's so crazy, the connection, isn't it? I don't know, maybe I'm looking too much into it, but I think it's very interesting that Cindy has the same problem as the rest of the twatters have with Shanann, that they just didn't like the way she parented, right? As if they even have a say. Like, it's like, who are you to be telling this mother how to parent? It's like, stay in your own lane. Why? What is it to you, the way that she parents? As long as she's not abusing her kids, right? It shouldn't matter to you at what time she puts her kids to bed. It's just all of this is so petty. It's petty. Petty, petty. And again, the pettiness was coming from the mother-in-law, Cindy.
she essentially was one of those like, I feel like she's making stuff up kind of people, and so she was trying to prove Shanann wrong. And so there's just a lot of conflict between, obviously because it's Chris's mom and then it's Shannon's mother-in-law, but there's kind of a disconnect there.
Do you remember any specific incident you could give me where this disrespect would come?
Any specific incident? I mean, which one out of the 10 million, right? Which specific incident out of all of the examples in All My Broken Potato Chips, right? Which one out of that narcissistic book? All my broken pieces. Oh, my little baby Wyatt was not allowed to wake everybody up at 2 in the morning. Oh, she's so mean. Oh, I've been so hurt. Which one of all the narcissistic things, right? Nutgate? Is that the other one? Oh, is your daughter really allergic? I don't know. Let's go ahead and test it. How about you listen to the mother, right? How about you trust what the mother is saying and stop trying to test her? Just listen and respect those boundaries. If a mother is telling you that her child is allergic, you should probably believe her. Right? You should probably believe her rather than being like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. I think you're making it up. Let's go ahead and test it." Oh my God. They had EpiPens. You don't get EpiPens by pretending to be allergic. That's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Yes, Lucia, NYC. Yes, I agree. I agree. Cindy was baiting Shanann. I think so too. Oh my goodness. I think it was baiting. Oh my God. Oh, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? What else? What else? In one of the first prison calls, Cindy, first words, we know what she was like. Yeah. Yeah. Ronnie says the same thing too. I mean, you gotta got to know her. To hell with a woman. A woman. It's like, huh? I'm sorry, can you translate, sir? Because I didn't understand a word you just said. But he's over here trying too, right? He's trying to be the other mean girl. My wife was all right about the woman was mean. Oh, come on. Really? Yeah, they went on the news to say so many bad things about a murdered pregnant woman, right? And people are still wondering, "Oh, why are you guys so critical of these parents?" Well, have you seen any of those interviews? Have you heard anything that they said? Have you read that atrocious book that was thankfully it was never written, right? It was never published, but yeah, it was in the works. And those were Cindy's words, right? Even if she had a ghostwriter, right? Even if Cindy wasn't the one sitting there typing, right? How do you spell broken? How do you spell narcissist? Right? She's not over here typing her own book, but she has a ghostwriter, right? She has a writer who's writing the book for her. But those are still her thoughts. They're still her words. Just somebody else is writing it for her because she's not a writer. So, again, a lot of questions. Lots of questions of why she was saying all these things about Shanann, and then, people are just wondering, "Oh, why are you guys so critical of her?" Yeah, because she was mean. She was mean. She treated Shanann with so much disrespect and did not care about any of the boundaries that she set with her. Anyway, let's continue.
Come into play?
It's kind of, I mean, she's talked about it for the last few years. I mean,
Shanann has.
yeah. His mom didn't go to the wedding, which was kind of an issue for Shanann, and then there's just always a resistance with the two of them. She didn't like talking to her on the phone because she felt like she was always being condescending towards her, and there's just a lot of conflict there.
So it sounds like that probably started early on in their relationship.
Right.
She doesn't show up for their wedding.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty heavy duty there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's petty. It is so petty. How are you not going to show up to your own son's wedding? See, this is the thing. This is the thing. And I will always call it out. She was there for her son when he murdered his family, but she wasn't there for him when he got married. What kind of parent does that? What kind of support is that? What kind of support is that? You can't go around saying, "Oh, I support you, son, no matter what," and then not go to their wedding. If you support them no matter what, you support the person that they're marrying. You support the partner that they chose, and you show respect to that partner. But no, she didn't do that. But why? Because she was petty. She's petty. She's acting like a mean girl, a high school mean girl, as if she's a teenager and she's like, "Oh no, those are one of the girls that I don't like." Mm-mm, you better not talk to her, girl, or else I won't talk to you either. If you talk to her, you're my enemy. Right? It's just like that pettiness that I just don't understand. It's like you're a grown woman. Cindy at this point, she was what, 40? She's in her 40s and she's acting like a teen mean girl. It's so strange. Grow up.
Did Shanann ever say if that really bothered her?
I mean, it bothered her, but I think she kind of knew how she was going into the relationship, so maybe, I think she thought it was gonna get better, but I don't really think it ever did.
Any other issues that you're aware of between Chris and?
Exactly. I agree. I agree. I agree. Yeah, Shanann was perceived. She was a perceived threat to all of them in their own minds, I guess. Yes, Tiger. I think so too. That is her first thing, Chris. Yeah, that is her first thing, Chris over Shanann. Yeah, but ultimately, her over everybody else. Exactly, Jerry. Exactly. Exactly. See, this is the thing, right? So here, let's just go ahead and see something. I wanted to pull this up because I think it's very important just to see, right? Just to see how this happens. Because it's so weird, right? It's so weird, the brain of a narcissist. Okay, this is something that Cindy did so well with Shanann. Look at this. So, narcissistic guilt tripping, right, and lashing out follow a predictable emotional cycle designed to protect the abuser's fragile ego, avoid accountability, and force you back into a position of compliance and control. This escalation typically moves from subtle manipulation to explosive retaliation when their ego is threatened, right? So, this is something that Cindy was doing towards Shanann. She was lashing out, right? She was doing a lot of guilt tripping. As we just listened, right? As we just heard Lauren say that Shanann didn't even like to be on the phone with Cindy because she was so condescending. Here, look at this, right? So the stages of guilt tripping and lashing out. This is what I think started happening as soon as Cindy met Shanann. She found something in her that she just didn't like, and then she started going after her and lashing out because apparently Shanann did something that she didn't like. Okay, so let's go ahead and see this, right? Stage one, the trigger or the narcissistic injury. You set a boundary, you point out a flaw, catch them in a lie, or fail to give them praise that they demand, right? They perceive ordinary accountability or independence as a severe personal attack of their perfection. What does this sound like, right? For example, Shanann set a boundary. She set many boundaries with Cindy. She said, hey, please don't feed my child any of these nuts. And what does Cindy do? She saw that boundary as a trigger and as a flaw on herself, right? Like she was attacked, her ego was damaged. So it's not really that she cared as much for what Shanann said and her children. She felt that her ego was personally attacked just because Shanann set a boundary. So she didn't like those things, right? Subtle guilt tripping. They deflect blame by making you feel morally wrong for having needs or feelings, right? Again, if we go back to that ridiculous book that Cindy wrote, All My Broken Potato Chips, or whatever we want to call it, right? This is the same thing. She feels wronged. She feels wronged just because Shanann wanted boundaries, because she didn't want little Wyatt coming in and waking them up at 2 a.m. All of a sudden, Cindy's like, oh my God, you hurt my feelings. Oh, you hurt little Wyatt. Yeah, it's not about you, Cindy. It's about Shanann's rest, right? It's like, can they not understand this? It's so weird. Gaslighting. Yeah, if they guilt trip you, if the guilt trip fails to make you submit, they intensify the pressure, right? Again, it happened a lot. It happened a lot with Cindy and Shanann. Anytime that Shanann set another boundary, Cindy would test that boundary. Overt lashing, right? We see this all the time. They explode, verbal abuse, screaming, name calling, right? What do we think? What do we think? These are all the things that Cindy was known for doing, right? She was known to do these things. They attempt to emotionally break you down, right? So that you apologize. And that's something that Shanann never did. She never gave in. She's like, no, I'm not apologizing. You are a narcissist. The fake apology, right? Oh my God. As we know, this one, especially this one. Oh, I've been hurt. They victimize themselves. Okay, I just wanted to pull that up because I think that a lot of these things apply to Cindy. I think it's very, very clear. A lot of these narcissistic traits do apply to the way that Cindy was treating Shanann, right? Now, these are all observable traits. It doesn't mean that we're diagnosing the woman, but these are observable traits, and we can definitely compare and see that they kind of match very closely to narcissism. All right, guys, let's continue.
And Shanann?
The finances were obviously an issue. I think she downplayed them a little bit, but it wasn't, I knew they had filed for bankruptcy a couple years ago, but she kind of presented it like, oh, well, it's gonna help us, in the long run, and it was, she worked really hard. So at one time, she did have 2 or 3 jobs at a time. So she was doing what she could to help provide for her family, but she never seemed like stressed out about the finances. She just mentioned that, they got behind on things and, they argued about it sometimes.
Was Chris a spender? Was Shanann a spender? Did they
Oh, let's listen.
both just let it loose? Or do you know how the dynamics of that?
I'm not really sure about his spending. Hers seemed to be, it wasn't anything excessive. I know that once they had kids, she obviously wouldn't shop for herself the way she used to. They had really nice things, they pretty much had everything that you could imagine you would need in a household. It kind of seemed equal on things, she would buy furniture and he would buy like a new lawnmower or something. So it seemed pretty equal.
I agree with this, you guys. I know there are people who don't really agree with this. I wouldn't even. It's not even a narrative. I think it's true that they both equally spent. Right. I think that there's so much blame put on Shanann as her being the spender, but what about Chris? I mean, I talked about the brands that he would wear. Or was that Shanann buying it for him? Because he also didn't have to wear it. He could have also said, "Hey, let's not spend this much money on these shirts because I'm not worthy of such an expensive brand," right? He could have just said that. But no, he didn't. He's like, "Oh yeah, go ahead and buy me that really expensive $10,000 part for my car." He was okay with accepting the gift. So if he's okay with accepting the gift, then he's okay with the bankruptcy that comes with it because he benefited from a lot of the material things that Shanann bought him, right? He never said, "Oh, please don't buy it for me. I'd rather wear these rags from the thrift store." No, he never said that. He's like, "Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll wear it. I'll wear it." And yeah, and he would proudly wear those things to work and then show them off to Nicole Kessinger and whoever else he was talking to. So again, all the blame being put on Shanann. Well, what about him? He was 33 years old. If he didn't want to wear expensive things, he could have just said so. He has a mouth. He can speak. Use your big boy voice, right? It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Oh my goodness. And yeah, he did spend a lot. He spent a lot of money on those ridiculous tools that he didn't even use, right? He didn't even know how to use them. "I'm going to jam you with a screwdriver." Oh, please. That's not even how you use screwdrivers. Who uses screwdrivers like this? The times that I've needed to use a screwdriver, right? Like for my microphone, for example, I'm not trying to do it like this. How does this work? No, I'm using it the tool is supposed to be used. But no, he didn't even know how to do that. Yeah, he was doing a job that earned money at least. Yeah, somewhat, right? Somewhat. Shanann did try to cut them out by moving to Colorado. I also remember hearing that Chris's mom treated him like crap. What was it? And only paid attention to his sister. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. Right, because if your family is so toxic, why would you want to be anywhere near North Carolina? Right? Why would you want to be anywhere near that toxicity? You may as well just move away, right? Move as far away as possible so that you're not forced to see them every weekend. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, he uses it like a chisel. I think Shanann was accurately picking up that Cindy was dangerous. Yeah, and she and her children were unsafe with Watts, but she just didn't see Chris accurately till too late. Yeah, and who knows? I would argue that she never even saw him accurately. She probably still hasn't. We don't know yet, right? We don't know yet, but people are saying that they supposedly are turning over a new leaf. I don't believe it until I see it with my own eyes. Until Cindy apologizes in public, until she goes to Denver 7 or whatever and apologizes publicly for the things that she said about Shanann, I will never believe it. He needed to stay working on cars. Yeah, yeah, he did have carpal tunnel. It's not yeah, right. Exactly. Easy surgery. Ay, ay, ay. All right, guys. Let's continue.
Okay. All right. But that was a source of tension at some point there. Like you mentioned that they had arguments about money.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure the exact nature of the financial issues. I just know I had mentioned my own, excuse me, and she was like, yeah, no, I understand. We're filing for bankruptcy. So it was kind of and she didn't go into too much detail about it, but she did mention that there were some issues going on.
Um, Anything else that you can think of that would be classified as issues, relationship issues?
Um, Not really. I know their communication started getting a little bit, I guess, lackluster in the last few months, because she was always in contact with him. So whenever she went anywhere, he always knew, I guess, like where she was, and they were on the phone a lot, especially if she was out of town or something. But he had cut conversations short a couple times. I think it just kind of goes back to like him being distant of sorts.
So did she?
Oh my god. So he was distancing himself the whole time. That's crazy. Wait, is this why Shanann was looking at getting divorced, right? Like, I know that she was looking it up, but it's because Chris was already distancing himself. And the thing is that Shanann thought it was because of Crazy Cindy. It's not because of Crazy Cindy, in my opinion. I mean, it may have been, right? It may have been a combination, but I think that the main reason was Nicole Kessinger, right? Again, I don't think that Cindy had that much influence over Chris, right? Because he still did whatever he wanted to do. He still married Shanann. He still moved to Colorado, right? Because he had a more dominant woman in his life, and that was Shanann, his wife. So I really don't think that Cindy ever had that much influence over him, which I think that is why she was so butthurt all the time. I think that's why her ego was constantly damaged because her golden boy son didn't want to choose her as the main female in his life. But yeah, that's because he didn't want to be anywhere near her. Anywhere near her. Hot chocolate lover, thank you so much. Thank you so much for a super chat. Hi, Rox. I sent us a super chat now, but had email say it was canceled. Oh, weird. So I'm confused about that. So sending again. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, hot chocolate lover. I don't know what's going on. I hope that works or that you were able to figure that out. Why do we think his parents stopped visiting? That's a good question. NK is the worst, but so is Cindy. Yep, I agree, Josie. I agree. Carpal tunnel from having to grasp tweezers. Yeah, I mean, if you're having to grasp tiny little tweezers, you're doing this a lot, right? You're doing this, you're trying to remove these little Trojan micros out of the tiny box. I mean, how are you supposed to open them, right? You're like, here, let me use my teeth. There we go. Open the little wrapper. There it is. Use my tweezers to get them out. Very gentle, right? I mean, you might even need like one of those magnifying glasses that you put over your eye to be able to see it, right? You're like, "Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, now it goes on me." I mean, oh my goodness. Imagine the work that would go into using those. Oh my god. No wonder, right? No wonder Nicole's looking like this because she's having to squint and she's like, "Hold on, Chris, where are you? Let's turn off the lights because at least they're glow in the dark." That's the only way that she could find Chris. She's like, "Where are you? Oh, there you are. There it is. Oh, where did it go? Oh, there it is again." Yeah, surgical precision. You guys remember that game, Operation? Operation. I feel like that's what it's like, right? You guys remember Operation? Here, let's go ahead and show Operation. Operation. I used to love that game. That's when I was little. I thought I was gonna be a surgeon one day, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna remove the bone. Oh, there's a chicken wing in here. Yeah, let me remove that as well. Oh my God, look, there's a butterfly. Oh my God, let me remove that butterfly from your leg, sir. It was so funny. It's like, how do these people end up with butterflies in their face? You know, it's like, it's such a fun game. Here, I just want to show you guys. I just want to show you guys real quick. All right, it's right here. This game right here. Operation. What is this? Yeah, look. There's like little tools in here. Right, there's a tool there. Look at that. There's a thermometer. Oh, look, there's like a dog in this guy's thigh. Yeah, that's what I would think would that's the kind of surgical precision that would go into getting the little Trojan micros on Chris. All right, it's like, okay, Chris, don't move. Hold on. I have a very steady hand. Just hold still. Who knows? Maybe Nicole Kessinger can also be a surgeon, right? She has that experience now. Right? That damn buzzer. You're like, all right, sir, we're almost done with the operation. Bzz, oh shit. Well, there goes your there goes your patient. Oh man. Smart Survival, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Thanks so much for the super chat. Let's go ahead and celebrate. Thank you. Oh, yeah, that buzzer. It always got me. You know, especially because you're concentrating. You're like, oh, I'm almost there. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. And then, bzz, oh no, you got to start all over. All right, guys, let's continue.
Traveled much with the Thrive business?
Yeah, they traveled a lot.
Okay.
It, they had a lot of trips, and I say they because most of the time he went with her.
Okay.
So it was kind of rare that she would go somewhere without him. Unless it was, I guess, like the Scottsdale trip where it was just like a real quick weekend thing, but most of the time whenever she went anywhere traveling wise, he went with her. Because it was kind of, they were in the business together.
And were all those trips for business? Any of those pleasure?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
I guess with Thrive, you earn the trips, so they are pleasure trips, but I'm assuming there's conferences and stuff that go along with it, so I think they're kind of both.
Okay. And my understanding is that she actually had a car that was being paid for through the Thrive. Is it Lavelle or
Lexus.
Thrive?
It's the same
Same
thing.
thing. Okay.
Lavelle owns Thrive.
Okay.
Thrive is like the nutrition steps thing. It's the brand, I guess, and then the company is called Lavelle.
Okay.
So.
All right. I wasn't sure how that worked.
Yeah, it was one of the levels she had gotten to. Like you get to this bonus of sorts, and then they send you, I guess, like the amount of money of a car payment or something, and then that's how you pay for your car.
Yeah. Okay. I assume that she's got a
Yeah, very pyramid schemey, isn't it? It's man. These MLMs are so terrible.
lot of people like working for her, I guess would be the way to put it.
Yeah. It's like I don't want to say a pyramid scheme because that's not a nice word, but it's
So I've heard it
multi-level
called compared to like Mary
That's
Kay.
not a nice word.
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's not, girl, but it is the truth. It is a pyramid scheme. That's what it is. I mean, the only reason I looked it up, you're right. I'm like, how is this legal, right? How is this legal? The reason it's legal and it's not a pyramid scheme is because they're selling real products. Even though the way that the company profits is by recruitment, the fact that they still sell products is why it's not a pyramid scheme. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? That's fucking crazy.
You start and then you get people underneath you and they get people underneath them and then it all kind of trickles back to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a pyramid scheme. That is literally a pyramid scheme. Except it's not because they're selling you real products. Oh, you're buying real patches. So because you wear real patches and they go on your real skin, that is a real product and so therefore it's not a pyramid scheme. Even though the way it works, right? The real profits are not made from the products that are being sold. The profits are being made from how many people you recruit and then how many of those recruits buy new products from you, right? So it is a pyramid scheme because you're getting more people to sell more of this scammy product, right? But that is how these companies are able to get away with it because you sell a product.
Um,
Right, exactly, Scott. Yeah, they're forced to keep bugging friends and family to buy in. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically how you pay for some of these things, right? You get people to join, the more people that join, the bigger your recruits are, the more or not bigger your recruits, right? But the more people there are, the more value you add to the company. And so because you're adding value to the company by bringing more people in, then they pay you with perks. Although these perks aren't really perks when you think about it because it's a scheme, right? It's a scheme. It all comes down to being a scheme. Now, again, no fault of Shanann, no fault of hers, okay? The blame should be put on the MLM and not on the people that fall for these MLM schemes, right? Don't blame the victim, blame the perpetrator. MLMs are perpetrators. The people who fall for them are victims, right? That's how this works. It's the people at the top. They know how this works because they're the ones running these businesses. If anything, go after them.
back to the short conversations in the last 6 months or so. Did Shanann ever talk to you about those?
Um,
Or about the fact that the conversations were getting short?
it's something I've noticed, or something I noticed. It would mainly come up, she was never really like, hey, I'm having an issue. It was me talking about, one of my situations, and then she would kind of come in and be like, yeah, we're going through that too. So, I noticed that, he would call or she would call him and he wouldn't answer, or he would be real quick on the phone. Um, and you can just tell she was getting frustrated. Like she would call and ask a question like about dinner or something, and then a few seconds later she'd be off the phone. And you can see that it was just one of those like, what the hell kind of things. And then like he would come home and like I said, he would come in, say hi to the kids, say hi real quick, and then like go upstairs. Whereas before he would come in, hang out for a little while, talk to her, go upstairs and like clean up and then come back down. But that all kind of, the behavior kind of changed a little
It
bit.
started changing.
Mhm.
Yeah, she noticed it. She noticed it because she would go over what did she say, once a month? Once a month? I mean, that's a lot, right? That's a lot to be observing Chris and his changes. She noticed his changes, you guys. She noticed. She's like, "Oh yeah, he used to be very attentive and come in and say hi to everybody, and then all of a sudden he would just come in, say kind of hi, hi, and then go and hide himself, right? Or go to the basement, isolate himself." I don't think it's because he was depressed. I think it's because he had already started talking to Nicole Kessinger. He was already feeling that distance because he noticed somebody else. Remember, What did Chris Watts say when he gave that ridiculous, speech, right? It was, for one of his classes, right? He was talking about, um, relationship deterioration and repair. It's so ridiculous. Even the title, deterioration and repair. He talks about seeing other people and thinking, "Oh, maybe this relationship has more potential. Who knows? Maybe my relationship with this woman has more potential." So then you just start to look around. How ridiculous. This is what Chris was already doing. He was already looking around. He's like, how can I repair my relationship? Oh, yeah. Let me go find other people. Maybe I'm more compatible with another woman. What? That is not how you repair your relationship. Goodness. So ass backwards. But yeah, I think this was already happening because look at Chris. I mean, his logic is not there. This guy has no logic. His logic was, "Oh yeah, the best way to repair our marriage is to force another child into this world or cheat on my wife." Uh, how is that repair? How is that repair? All of this is just very selfish, right? It's all of it was selfish for him. He even said maybe, yeah, exactly, Jerry. Yes, he even said maybe you meet somebody at work and you might think you maybe have some more potential with them. And of course, right? He's all looking all weird. He's like, "Oh, how do I stand? How do I present? Is this good, you guys? Yeah, yeah, okay. Maybe you meet someone at work." He's so awkward, right? Isn't he so awkward? I think he was emotionally cheating with NK than the summer. Yes, El Holt. I think this is starting to look more likely, right? Just because of the timeline, the sequence of events. He started to back away, and we started to see that distance, right? Is what Lauren is saying here, sorry, that she started to see that distance, and I think it's because of the same thing, right? He was already emotionally thinking about somebody else, and I wouldn't even think emotionally, right? I think it was more lustfully, right? He was lusting after another woman already. Oh, what not to, yeah, what not to do to repair the marriage? Yeah, don't cheat on your wife. Oh my goodness. He's such a dork. Exactly. That speech he gave was almost like he had a vision or maybe another game plan. Yep. Exactly. All right, guys. Let's continue. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's happening here. Oh, look at this. Spotlight search. I'm like, what is this? Okay. Let's continue.
And that's in the 6 month time frame.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, where did my page go?
Silence.
Did you ever go with her on any of these business trips?
No.
Hmm.
When was the last time you actually saw Shanann in person?
About a week before they went to North Carolina.
Okay, so it'd have been, what, end of June?
Yes.
Does that sound right?
I think so. I can't remember. I just know she was trying to get her packing list and everything ready for the trip.
Okay.
So I know it was right before then.
Okay, let's go ahead and look at the calendar real quick. Okay, so she said a week before she left for North Carolina. So look at this. So it was right here, a week before. So around this week, right? Here, let's go ahead. I'm just going to put it back up right here. Okay, there we go. We're looking at June. So Shanann left for North Carolina on the 27th of June. So it looks like Lauren probably hung out with her sometime this week. So around the same week that Chris was already messing around with Nicole Kessinger, whether they were flirting or, playing footsie or whatnot, or sending ridiculous emails to one another or complimenting their temples. Whatever they were doing, it was already happening when Lauren was meeting up with Shanann for the very last time. Goodness. No shame. No shame. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no marriage is 100% perfect, but communication is key. Exactly. Exactly, Erikisa. Yes. Yeah, no marriage is perfect. I mean, come on. These are two people, right? Two people that are choosing to spend the rest of their lives together. Two people with different backgrounds, different perspectives, different experiences join their lives together. And then they have to be able to respect one another for the rest of their lives, right? So that they can live peacefully together. Communication is key. You have to be able to communicate with your partner so that you can live peacefully, so that you can understand their needs, they can understand yours, and that you can mutually respect one another. But that's not what Chris wanted to do. No, he wanted the easy way out. He's like, you know what? I don't feel lust for you anymore. I don't even think you're pretty. I found another girl at work and I like her and I'd rather go with her and get rid of you guys. That is psychopathic behavior. Who thinks that way? It's so weird, isn't it? Ugh, I know I keep saying that, but it's just weird. It's weird. It's bizarre to think that just because another woman crosses your path and you think that they're better, that you're going to just abandon everything that you've built for the past 8 years. It is so weird. It's a strange thing that happens. I mean, it happens all the time though. It happens all the time. I just don't know how. How can that happen? How can you just fall out of love with your family because you met someone who you think is better for the first 2 or 3 weeks, right? Because again, it's lust, it's lust. Once these people actually get to know one another and they get to spend more time together, the lust starts to fade away and then it becomes a real relationship and then you have to work for that. But anyway, obviously Chris didn't know how relationships work. Ugh. Yeah, you're just a supply to narcs. Yep, it is a transaction. Yeah, he was never in love. Exactly. I agree. I agree with you guys. Yeah, he was never in love. Right. That's the most logical thing, right? I think that's the more likely thing is that Chris never felt love. Remember, this is the man who Googled, what does love feel like? About Nicole. Nicole, right? The woman that he murdered his family for, he still didn't even know if he really loved her. He had to Google it. That is so crazy.
Where did you see her?
At her house.
Okay. And how did she seem at that point?
She was good. I brought my kids over there to play with her kids. It was just kind of something we did. Um, I mean, she was, like I said, she was getting all of their stuff ready. Um, she was asking me when I was coming back to Thrive again. She was asking about my parents. She was asking about the baby. Because she said she told me she was going to be finding out what she was having while she was gone. And I was like, well, I'm having a boy, so you have to have a boy. And we kind of just talked about like pregnancy stuff, and she seems normal.
Okay, so she knew at that point that she was pregnant.
Yes.
How far along was she? Did she know?
I don't remember. I have no idea.
Okay. All right. How did she seem about that?
She was good. She was excited. She was happy. She was with the first two. So.
Okay. Did she ever say anything about how Chris felt about it?
Oh.
Anything like that?
Yeah, well, when she called and told me that, because when I got pregnant, I joked around and I was like, well, it's time for you to have one. And she was like, yeah, I know, that's what Chris keeps saying. So I know they had discussed having another baby.
Right. Again, this is Chris. This was all Chris's idea. It was Chris who wanted a baby. It was Chris who wanted a baby. He's the one saying, let's have a baby, right? The same man who was saying, oh, the best way to repair a marriage is to have a baby. All of this was Chris's idea. All right. So again, for everyone wondering if Chris annihilated his family because of finances, or maybe he started looking at other women because of finances, this makes no sense because he wanted another baby. How are you going to bring another baby when you're bankrupt? How are you going to say, oh, you know what? We're so bankrupt and we have no money, but let's go ahead and have another baby. Isn't that expensive? Yes, having babies is very expensive. Very, very expensive. Yeah, Chris was okay with it. He's like, yeah, something is wrong with our marriage. I'm bored. I'm not feeling entertained. You know, whatever it was with Chris, he thought that having a baby was going to repair it. Except he ended up meeting somebody else at work, right? As soon as he met Nicole, the baby meant nothing to him anymore. He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I was trying to repair that marriage, but you know what? I don't really care about it because I met something better. I found something better." And that was Nicole. So then what? He just discarded his family like that. Oh, what a fucking monster.
Cece was really, she was a handful, so Shanann wasn't sure. And then, once I got pregnant and I was like, it's time for you to have a third one, she was like, I know, we're talking about it. And then she calls me all excited and tells me she's pregnant. And so, I was excited.
Right.
She seemed
Oh, of course she was excited. Of course Shanann was excited. She was having a boy. Oh,
pretty excited too.
Okay.
yeah, she was excited. She's like, "Oh, yay. Like I'm going to give Chris the thing that he wanted." Right? She was excited obviously because she loved being a mom. I think it's very clear, it's very obvious that she loved being a mom. And then on top of that, right? She's excited because she was able to give Chris what he wanted. Again, what narcissist would be excited to give their partner something that they love? No narcissist would do that. Right? Clearly, she wasn't one because she cared so much about Chris and what he wanted. Now, again, right? There are people who will say, "Oh my God, but Shanann was so mean to him." I mean, he was a potato head. He was a potato head. But she still loved him, right? She still loved him. I mean, yeah, he was a potato head and he needed a lot of help. He needed a lot of guidance. She needed to hold his hand every time that they needed to cross the street because Chris never learned to look left and look right before he crosses the street. And so, yeah, I mean, he needed a lot of help. He's a simpleton, but she still loved him. She still listened to the things that he needed. She still did those things for him because he asked for it. So, again, right? All of these excuses and all of these other theories that people have. Oh, it's because Shanann treated him like crap. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I mean, sure, yeah, she said certain things to him, but I mean, come on. What relationship doesn't have a little bickering and a little back and forth, right? You still don't annihilate your family for that. You still don't. Exactly. Well, when you want it, it happens. Exactly. What the hell does that mean? I saw another question. This was such a good question. Who asked it? Was it Eric? Oh, it was. Okay. Eric Isa. Sad that Shanann tried everything that she could fix she tried everything to fix her marriage. He even threw that marriage book in the trash, or was it NK? This is such a good question. What do you guys think? What do we think? Do we think that? Because I don't know. I don't know who threw that book in the trash. Shanann bought that marriage book and she ordered it on Amazon and got delivered, and then it ended up in the trash. Who threw it in the trash? Was it Chris? Because he was trying to make it sound or make it seem like Shanann had left? Or was it Nicole Kassinger to make it seem like Shanann had left? Or was it Chris because he wasn't interested anymore? Or was it Shanann? Right? Those are all the questions that we have. I don't think it was Shanann. Right? I don't think it was Shanann that threw the book in the trash, right? I think that she ordered it for him. It ended up in the trash, but I wonder, was it on purpose? Was it planned? Was it staged? I don't know, you guys. I'm going to ask you guys that question. What do you guys think? Poll time. Yeah, are we all itching for a new poll? Oh my God. It's been 15 minutes. I need my fix. Yeah, who needs the poll? Yeah, it could be either of them if NK was there cleaning up. Yes. Okay, guys. Why was Chris Watts distancing himself? Look at this. Because NK started working at Anadarko. Look, he was over the marriage. 19%. Hey, it's possible, right? Hey, it's possible that it was both. He was already over the marriage, which I think is true because he was wanting a baby. See, that's the thing. I think he was already bored, right? He was already bored. He was looking for a way out, or he was looking for some new excitement, so he wanted a baby. And because of that, he ended up finding what in his mind was something better, something newer, and that was Nicole Kassinger. So I think it's both. He was too focused on his micros and macros. He was depressed, 2%. Paul. Okay, who do we think threw the marriage book in the trash? Okay, so who do we think threw the marriage book in the trash? Was it Chris? Okay, so there's going to be a few options. Chris Watts staging the scene. All right, so Chris Watts staging the scene. Nicole Kessinger staging the scene. Do you think it's Nicole Kessinger staging the scene? Or Chris Watts, but not staging the scene and more like, oh, I don't really care anymore. Chris Watts because he moved on? Or was it NK who threw it out because she was being petty? She didn't like that Shanann bought the book. She saw it and was like, ew, who bought this for you? Did you buy this? Oh, she bought it for you? Ugh, throw it in the trash. I don't want to see that shit. Again, I don't know, right? I don't know. But I do imagine NK being this petty. Or do we think it's NK being petty? All right, guys, let's go ahead and start this poll. Okay, who do we think threw the marriage book in the trash? I forgot to put book. Oh my goodness, I always forget something, right? Okay, who do we think threw the book in the trash? The book. Chris Watts staging the scene. NK staging the scene. Now remember, staging the scene means that they were staging it, making it seem like Shanann threw the book away because she was the one who was over it and left with another man. So ridiculous. Or do we think is because Chris wanted to move on? Like he really saw the book and he's like, no, I'm not going to read this because I'm moving on with another woman. Or do we think it was NK being petty? NK saw the book and she was like, oh, no, Chris, you're not going to read this. I want you to read, but only books about divorce. Yeah, not marriage, right? Again, this is the woman that claims that she was helping her man fix the marriage with his wife. Come on. I was just telling them to work out their marriage, Kevin. And then when Kevin asks, oh, okay, did you have him read books about working on your marriage? No. But I did give him book recommendations on divorce and how good divorce is for the children. What a contradiction. Goodness, it's like she doesn't hear herself. It's so crazy. She says one thing and then contradicts herself immediately after. Oh, man. It was an F you towards Shanann, in my opinion. Oh, really? Julie. I think it was NK having one of those anger moments. Yes, exactly, Jerry. Yes. See, that's why I think it was probably NK being petty. I think so too. I think NK threw it away cleaning up the house after the scene, right? After the crime scene. NK so full of... I'm a crazy. Aw, thank you so much. Another Bruce for Rocks Live. Aw, thank you. Yeah, guys, if you like this live stream so far, please go ahead and give it a like. I know I have to do these things, you guys. That's all it took for him. Yeah. Give him some freaky twister and he'll discard and destroy. Yeah, that's all. That's all it takes though, right? That's all it takes for someone like Chris. He's a simpleton. All right, guys, let's continue. This is crazy. There's a lot of information coming from Lauren. So much. NK hated and was jealous about everything with Shanann. Yeah, if she was there that night, she probably threw it away. Yeah. Yep. I think it was NK. Me personally, I would vote for NK being petty. All right, guys, let's continue.
But Chris was actually talking about having a
Yes.
third child.
Yes, because he wanted a boy. So that was his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And why did he want a boy? Why would Chris want a boy? It's because he didn't feel all that included, right? I feel like maybe Chris didn't feel all that included with Shanann and the girls, but that's because he didn't make himself included. He didn't put in the effort. He didn't take the initiative to do the things that the girls wanted to do. He's just like, "Oh, I guess I need to do this as a dad. Sure, yeah, let me just throw you up into the air. Yeah. Is that fun for you? Okay, cool. Yeah, sure, let me carry you around. Is that fun?" A lot of it, I think, was just BS. I think a lot of it was just him pretending to have fun with his girls. I don't even think that he would have had fun with Nico because he's a narcissist and a psychopath. Again, he only wanted baby Nico not because he wanted to be a dad. He wanted to continue to be a dad and now he wanted to be a dad to a son. I think it was all because of him. It's because he felt that something was missing. Oh, it's me. I want a boy because I want to be able to connect with somebody. Oh, come on. Again, right? Very narcissistic. Although, yeah, right? I do understand. I will say I do understand his need for a boy because for someone like Chris who grew up in that family dynamic where there was Cindy, who is a narcissist, in my opinion, and then sister, and then Ronnie, right? Lordy. He is just like Ronnie. I think they're both very passive men. And so he wanted to be able to connect with someone in the way that he connected with his dad, right? And so because he was passive and he knew that dynamic, he wanted to be able to have that connection with a boy, right? With a son. And so I think that that's why he really wanted that, right? That is what was missing to him. Yeah. Yes, exactly. It's in his brain that is missing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's his brain. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Extremely passive. Yeah, Chris knew they couldn't afford another child. Yeah, whether you want it or not. Exactly. Exactly. Somehow he still wanted it though. Right? He's like, "Oh, I can't afford a baby, but let's go ahead and have one because I want one. Because I feel lonely." Oh, come on. Cut from the same sock. Maybe he blamed his psychopathic inability to make connections with his children on them being girls. Yeah. Boops, I agree. Yeah, he probably blamed them for it. He's like, "Oh, I can't connect with you guys because you're girls." That's why they kept throwing chicken nuggets at him, according to him. "Oh, I just kept getting chicken nuggets thrown at me. I miss it when they throw chicken nuggets at my face." Oh, come on. What a strange thing to say that you miss about your children. I think he resented them the whole time. The whole time. But you guys let me know.
Yeah, he even joked around. He was like, if we keep having girls, then we'll just keep going until we have a boy.
Why was Cece such a handful? She just
Um,
energetic kid or what?
Yeah, I think because Bella she was really calm, really quiet, and Cece was not by any means. Um, she's a hyper kid. My middle child, or I guess my now middle child, she's the same way. Um, they say your first ones are supposed to be easier, but yeah, she was like fast and just all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, that's middle kids tend to be that way.
Yeah, it's like
She's
they're
so
predestined and
Yeah,
they just
that's
know.
right. It's interesting. Okay. So when she goes to North
God, Chris is such a piece of shit. He had everything. He had everything. What more could he want? I know men who would give anything to have the family that Chris had. What a fucking idiot.
Carolina, do you have contact with her while she's there?
Yeah, we're from the same hometown, so I kind of kept in touch to like, who have you seen, where have you gone, how's your family, and go say hi to my mom type stuff.
Okay. Was this all text messages, phone calls, Facebook Messenger?
All
of it?
three,
All of
yeah.
it? Okay.
We kind of communicate in all realms.
Okay. All right. And does she say anything to you about how things are going in North Carolina? Um, I assume you knew that Chris didn't go with her. initially.
Yeah, I knew he was coming.
Okay. Was there, did she ever talk about a reasoning?
I think he had to work.
Okay.
Because they had planned this trip for a while, and because Cece's birthday party and everything was kind of falling in that time, so she wanted to have enough time to spend with family and see everybody and, you know, plan a party and everything. So I knew Chris was coming, but I knew he wasn't gonna be there the whole time.
Okay. And that's just because he had to work.
Right. Yeah, there's no way he could have taken 6 weeks off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. Did she ever talk about any issues that had occurred in North Carolina while she was there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, another
Well,
reason
with
why
her
I
and
think that
Chris or
Nicole
just in
Kessinger,
The
another reason that I think that Nicole Kessinger, right, she planned such an elaborate trip for him because of that, right? Because he wasn't able to take all of these weeks off to be able to meet with Shanann in North Carolina. But then the fact that he still took off, right? He still left and met with his family the first week of August. I think this is what really set off Nicole Kessinger, right? Which we end up seeing that every single weekend they went out, they had this elaborate trip, right? That Nicole Kessinger planned out for him every single weekend. And it's because of that. Because even after all this, the month of July was just so much fun for Chris. After all of this, Chris still felt the need to go out to North Carolina and meet with his family. And I think that set off Nicole Kessinger like nothing had ever set her off before. Because she's like, wait, what? We've spent the entire month of July together and you're still gonna go see your family, Chris? I thought you had already chosen me, right? Again, my opinion, this is my opinion, this is what I think that she was doing, but I think it tracks. It really tracks. I don't know, you guys let me know what you think. I definitely think he resented Cece. Yeah, he thought Bella was a mini-me, but not a boy. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Trail. I don't think Lauren was that great friends with Shanann. She acts like because no one even thought to call her when Shanann went missing. Oh, really, Michelle? Sometimes it's easy to forget that he doesn't love. Right. Narcissists are incapable of it. It's all supply, not love. NK was supply. So is Lizzie, and so is Shanann. Yeah, exactly. Very well put, Tommy's girl. I agree. Yeah, it's all supply. It's supply. They need that constant admiration or whatever it is. And that is what Shanann gave him. Constant admiration all the time. Oh, my husband is so great. Oh, my husband this. Oh, the father of my kids that. And he turned out to be an absolute POS. Oh, goodness. All right, guys, let's continue.
Let's start with her and Chris. Any
No.
issues that she would mention or anything like that? Okay. She ever say anything, hey, the conversations are still short, or or not talking or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. What about in general?
I know she had a couple of issues with her mother-in-law. There was, and it revolved around Cece and her allergies.
Well, whether she was close friends with her or not, she knows a lot about her, right? She knows a lot about the issues that Shanann had with Cindy, right? So she does have a lot of knowledge. So even if they weren't close friends, like some of Shanann's other friends that we've heard about and heard from, she's still very reliable. I mean, everything that she's saying so far is spot on. And I mean, she knows a lot. She really does. So, right, even if she's not like the closest of friends, she's still very, very knowledgeable. She knows a lot about their relationship.
Her mother-in-law she had another grandchild over there, and like Shanann had asked her, make sure that you don't have this list of things. You can't have this in the house, because she just recently found out how severe this allergy was, and she had found out that the other grandchild had this ice cream that had nuts in it, and her mother-in-law basically told her, well, you can't give her everything she wants. She's not the only kid here. And she's like, it's not a favoritism thing, it's a health and safety thing. And it just kind of escalated from there. I know she had mentioned something about someone trying to give Cece, you know, a peanut to see if the allergy was real or not. I don't know if they actually gave it to her or what happened, but it was this huge ordeal. And so she felt that it would be better if the kids didn't go over to see his mom without being supervised because she clearly can't be trusted.
Yep. Yeah, I agree here. Yeah, she clearly could not be trusted. So Shanann didn't even feel comfortable leaving the girls with just Cindy because Cindy doesn't believe anything that Shanann said. She challenged everything that she said. She tested her constantly, tested her boundaries, kept pushing her and seeing if Shanann would lash out, right? It was always a test with Cindy, I think. She really just wanted to drive Shanann so crazy to the point where either Chris believed that Shanann was crazy or to the point where Shanann just couldn't handle it anymore and she ended up leaving, right? It's to me it was almost it was definitely intentional, right? To me, right? In my opinion, I think that every single interaction with Cindy wasn't I don't really think that it was natural interaction. I think it was all intentional for Shanann to end up leaving the family. She wanted Shanann out of her life no matter what, even if that meant gaslighting her, driving her crazy, making Chris think that his wife is crazy, or driving her insane to the point where she's like, you know what, I'm going to divorce your son because you people are crazy. I think that she did it because of that, right? She just disliked Shanann so much that she didn't want her in her life. And she would do anything to get her out of her life. What do you guys think? Again, you guys let me know what you think. It's just to me, it's just it seems like too much. Really, like every single time that you meet with your daughter-in-law, there's going to be an issue. I don't know. It really sounds like she created these problems, right? Like any little thing for Cindy was a problem. I mean, Shanann probably couldn't even ask for a glass of water without it being a problem for Cindy. Excuse me, get up and get it yourself. I'm not your maid, right? And all Shanann asked for was a glass of water. Hey, can I get a glass of water? Okay, fine, I'll get it myself, right? And you can't get it yourself, right? Because it's like, oh no, 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 you can't use that glass. Hello. Use the other one. Oh my God, I can't believe you use that glass. How disrespectful. I mean, every little thing would be a problem, right? I mean, she couldn't do anything right. Shanann couldn't do anything right in the eyes of Cindy because everything was going to be an issue. Everything was going to be a fight. Deep down, Cindy wanted the marriage to fail. Yes, Eric, yes. And took every opportunity to try to prove it. I agree. I agree. The cup of vanilla is still tainted if it was made in the factory where nuts are used. Exactly. Cross examination. Sorry, cross examination. Cross contamination. Yeah, exactly. Cross contamination. Cross examination is what Nicole Kessinger needed. Hopefully, we can get there because that's what she needs. She needs to be cross examined. Don't they call yeah, the eating crackers approach. The amount of hate he had for the innocent babies, they thought he was Superman. My daddy is a hero. I do think Cindy would have liked NK. Really? Yeah, they would have bonded over their shared hatred of Shanann and their equally evil. Yeah, you think so? You think? Have I asked that before? I don't know if I've asked that before. I don't know if Cindy would have liked her. I think she probably would have liked her in the beginning because they would share a hatred for another woman, but I think eventually Cindy would have become jealous of Nicole Kessinger. Because either way, that woman is still taking away her son from her. It's to me, I think it still has to do with Cindy's control over her son. So I don't think she would have liked anyone. Anyone. Right? She doesn't like Lizzie, for many reasons too, right? Just because they're like, why are you marrying Chris? Like, what is wrong with you? You're in prison, right? Whatever other reasons they may have, I just don't think that Cindy would have been okay with any woman ever, ever. It's sad that the girls loved him. Ugh. Yeah, she would like the fact that she split them up. Yeah, but they would never get along. I agree, Jerry. I think so too. Yeah, I think she would have liked her because of that reason, right? Yeah, because Nicole Kessinger was the one that was able to split up Shanann and Chris, but eventually she would have hated her too. Yeah. All right, I'll ask that question. I'll definitely ask that question. Narcs wind you up so that when you lash out, they're the yeah, exactly. You're the one who's out of control. Exactly. See, they push your buttons, right? They're just like until you're finally like, stop. Don't you understand? Like, stop, right? And then they make you look crazy. And then they're like, you see, she's crazy. Look at the way she's acting. But it's like, dude, you've been pushing my buttons for the past 5 years. Eventually, I'm going to lash out. Eventually, it's like, how much patience does a person have until they eventually lash out? But then they end up using that lashing out as evidence that they were crazy to begin with. And it's like, no, 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 you're the one doing the gaslighting, right? You're the one gaslighting that person, pushing them to the point where then they have to explode, and then they use that as evidence that they're crazy. It is an art. I think the way that narcissists are able to do this, they're artists in their own way, right? Very malignant, but malignant narcissists. But yeah, it's an art. I mean, it's crazy the way that they're able to do this, right? I mean, they're thinking about all the ways to manipulate people. They're like, oh, what can I do? Let me manipulate this. Let me go ahead and talk shit over here. Let me go ahead and call Mark and tell him all these things that I think of Shanann. And who knows, maybe one of these people will eventually split them up. Wow. I mean, the planning that goes into this. Holy shit. All right, guys, let's continue.
With the safety of Cece and her allergies. So I know that was kind of the only thing that she had talked to me about, because she was pretty stressed out about it, naturally.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. So that caused quite a bit of consternation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else in general that you remember?
Mm-mm. No.
What about when Chris actually went to North Carolina? I think that was about the first part of August.
Yeah, I didn't really talk to her a whole lot. Actually, I don't even think I talked to her at all that week.
Okay.
Um,
Is there a reason for that, or just cause?
yeah, I went into preterm labor.
Oh.
So I was in the hospital for about a week or so. She reached out and texted me just to make sure I was okay.
Oh my God.
But other than that, like, we didn't really have in-depth conversations. And then it was my daughter's birthday and my mom was here, so it was just kind of, we didn't really talk a whole lot in that time period.
Okay.
I actually didn't talk to her until the Saturday before she went missing.
Okay.
The Saturday before she went missing. Okay, let's go ahead and pull it up. Let's go ahead and bring up the calendar. Saturday before she went missing. This day. This day, right? Saturday before she went missing. Okay, so do we need to look at those? We need to look at those texts, huh? I'm gonna write this down. I'll look at those texts. Maybe there's something in there. So Lauren, last convo on the 11th, Saturday 11th. Oh, wow. Yeah, she sounds like really sane. Yeah, this friend. Yeah. Right. And while she's not friends like the friends of, Thrive, I think she's still a very close friend. I mean, someone who visits you once a month is a pretty close friend, I would say. I have a lot of close friends and they still don't visit me once a month. And they're pretty close. Like, we talk all the time. So I think that, yeah, someone who's visiting you once a month, I think that's pretty close. She knows a lot. I mean, she even remembers the dates. This was the last time that she spoke to her. That is crazy. Do we need to add this to the calendar? What do you guys think? Do we think it's important? Or should I just write it down? What do we think? Because, see, the thing with the calendar, I don't want to add anything that doesn't pertain to Nicole Kessinger, right? The point of the calendar is trying to see how Nicole Kessinger was involved. So I don't know if we should add it. It's okay. I'll write it and then we'll think about it. We'll think about it. All right, guys, let's continue.
And was that a phone call when you talked to her?
Yes.
Okay. Um, did you see any of her Facebook posts during that first week of August while she was in North Carolina with Chris?
Yeah.
Anything unusual strike you about those? Different?
No, I saw they were at the beach, and I saw. That's really all I remember. Is actually them being at the beach. Because I didn't know when he got there. But then, like, I had seen the pictures and stuff, and I saw that he was there, and I was like, oh, good, Chris got there. And then that was kind of it.
Okay. And I think that she came back with the kids on the 7th. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Okay. And,
Because then she left, like, a few days later.
okay. Is that when she went to Arizona for the, I guess, Thrive conference?
Yeah.
Okay. It was just a weekend thing, right?
Yep. I believe she left, like, that Friday and then came back
Okay.
Sunday night, Monday morning.
Um, do you know who she went to Arizona with?
The same group of people that I think she normally goes with. I know Nicole was there. I know there's a couple of other girls that were there too. I know Amanda was there, and I'm pretty sure Cassandra was there too.
Nicole, do you know Nicole?
Mm-hmm.
Is that Nicole Atkinson now? Okay.
Yeah,
Who's
Oh,
Amanda?
she does know Nicole.
Amanda Thayer.
Okay.
Oh, so she does know Nicole. She knows Shanann's other friends. So even though she's not Thrive, right? Lauren was not part of Thrive. She still knows about Shanann's other friends. Yeah. I would say she's a close friend. Even though she's not Thrive, she doesn't have to be a Thrive friend to be close. But yeah, she definitely knew the other friends then.
And who's Cassandra?
Cassandra Rosenberg. I haven't met her yet. I've talked to her a bunch, but she's one of Shanann's friends from, I don't know where they met actually, but she's in the Thrive business too, so.
Okay.
She
Is
just moved here recently.
Oh, she did?
A
Okay.
few days ago.
Oh, like literally recently.
Yeah, like right before, it was last week, actually.
Okay. Alright. So you last spoke to her on Saturday, August 11th. Does that sound right?
12:30, yes.
Okay. Do you remember about what time that was?
No.
Okay.
No, it was kind of a quick conversation. Asked her, when she was coming back. And she told me, she was like, I'll be back late Sunday night, Monday morning. We were supposed to get together that week, cause she had her gender reveal party coming up, so I was gonna help finish off that. We were gonna get the girls together for one more play date before everybody went back to school in full swing. And then that's kind of it. It was kind of a quick conversation because I was like, I just wanted to make sure she was gonna be back before I started making all these plans.
Okay.
And then I messaged her Sunday.
Oh.
On Facebook message?
Yeah. And I asked her,
Oh.
because I had forgotten what she said, and I asked her again when she was gonna be back. And she didn't respond.
That was on Sunday.
Yeah. And then,
She did not respond.
no,
Is that unusual for her not to respond?
yes. But it was also like 2 p.m, and I knew she was traveling, so.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what? Okay, so she texted her on Sunday, but she didn't respond, but that's because it was the daytime. Okay. I just got a little confused there a little bit for for a few seconds. Okay, so she texted her on Sunday, but right, Shanann was traveling, so she probably didn't get back to her because she was working, right? So Okay. But she did say that it was very unusual for her not to respond. So even though it was 2 p.m., right? Shanann still didn't respond. That's weird. Okay. All right, I'm just writing a bunch of stuff down. All right, let's continue.
It wasn't really that big a deal. Monday, I text her.
Okay, let me stick with Sunday here real quick. So Sunday you messaged her, but that was the only contact you had or tried to have with her. Is that?
Yeah, because I knew she was traveling. I didn't know what time or anything. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna give her time to get home and then I'll bother her about when to see her.
Okay.
Okay, so it was on Facebook.
Okay, so Sunday you have this, try to send her a text, message, whatever. You get no response. Monday, do you try to contact her Monday, or did she contact you or anything like that?
No, I knew she had a doctor's appointment in the morning.
Okay.
Usually
Everyone
I
knew.
talk to her afterwards.
Everyone knew.
So I waited.
Everyone knew that she had a doctor's appointment. Apparently only Chris didn't and Nicole Kessinger? How are they this stupid? Everyone knew that Shanann had a doctor's appointment, yet Chris decided to annihilate his family on the same day that Shanann had a doctor's appointment. What an absolute... Again, this plan, like I saw V-Book say, yeah. The plan was very shitty, but it was still very complex, right? It was still very complex. Yet they still figured, oh, no one's gonna look for them. Pair of morons, right? What a pair of morons. Okay, guys, let's continue.
I text her around like 11:30, 12, and I was like, how did everything go? Like, when do you want to meet this week? And I didn't get a response. And then somewhere around, it wasn't long after that, I got on Facebook and I saw that her brother had said something about that she was missing.
Shop at desktonic.co.uk.
What in the world was that? I was like, hold on, did she just turn into an AI? What in the world? I was like, hold on, what is going on? What? I don't know what that is, you guys. Okay, here, let's go ahead and fast forward. What is that? Oh, is it over?
So the fact that she didn't respond to your initial text
What's that?
about her doctor appointment, was that unusual?
Yes,
Is she pretty good about returning texts?
yes. She literally has her phone on her hip
Yeah.
or in her hand at all times.
Okay.
Yeah.
I talked to her brother it was around 2 o'clock.
Okay. Is that when you saw it on Facebook?
No,
Or is that when you talked to?
I saw it on Facebook, so I talked to him about an hour after I saw it, because he was like, hold on, I'll call you.
Okay.
And then I text him my phone number, because he called me on Facebook Messenger, because he didn't have my number. And then I text him my number at 2. So I had already known.
So about 1-ish.
I'd say like 1:30,
1:30,
2 o'clock,
okay.
yeah.
And his name is Frank,
Frankie.
is that right?
Yeah.
What did you see on Facebook?
I had to read it again because he said something like, my sister's missing, and there's a picture, and she just left North Carolina. So I thought at first maybe it was one of those like she hadn't talked to him or something, so he was like, oh, my sister's missing because she won't return my calls kind of thing. I went back and read it, and it was legitimately nobody can find her. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So then I sent him a message, I think, on Facebook, and then he called me freaking out. And I was like, well, let me go by there and see what's going on. Because I'm the only person here from North Carolina, so I was kind of, besides Chris, but I'm kind of their only like go-to at this point. So
Oh my God.
I was like, let me go out there and I'll let you know what I can find out. But had to pick my kids up from school, and I didn't end up going out there until almost 5.
Okay.
On the 13th? Wait, 5 on the 13th? Okay, let's go ahead and pull up the calendar. I want to follow. Okay. So she says she showed up on the 13th, correct? Right? Are you guys let me know if I heard this correctly. Okay, so she showed up around 5-ish. Okay, so around the same time that Nicole Kessinger is, look at that, she's calling, or Chris Getman called Nicole Kessinger. Around the same time that Nicole Kessinger calls Chris twice, and then another call that Chris places to Nicole Kessinger. So around this time is when she showed up. Hmm. Hmm. On Monday night, right? Yeah. Okay. So August 13th. Got it. Okay. Maybe NK knew later about the appointment, so was crafting a story about Shanann leaving the house at 9. Huh. Hmm. I don't think Chris knew about the doctor appointment. I don't think so either, Laurel. I don't think so either. See, he didn't care. I don't think he knew about it. That's why he did everything when he did it. Roxy, did you play the recording of the other person saying it's their cousin and compare the two? Oh, wait, of which one? Sorry, which one, Lehigh? Like Nicole's cousin? Or which one? He called the school the same day as the girls and wasn't about to ever show up there. Yep. I think that he could use AI to input the discovery in Alanke's interviews and there'd be a trail to follow leading back to her. Okay. So it was Monday night. You would think the settlement cities for plane to Wisconsin. Twats didn't know about the appointment because he didn't care. He didn't even give Shanann a chance to tell him. Yeah. Yeah. So the doctor's appointment was at 10. Okay, so it's right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and see where it is. Shanann receives a text message. Look at that, 2 p.m. 10 a.m. Look at this. Doctor calls Shanann, leaves a voicemail, right? Because she missed the appointment. Huh. I was surprised that no one knew about it. It was on Reddit regarding Ronnie. Huh. He didn't care. Yeah, I don't think he cared. He didn't care. That's why he didn't even know that Shanann had an appointment. That is why I don't think Nicole knew that she had an appointment either. This is why the plan fell apart because Chris wasn't paying attention. Right? I think Chris wasn't paying attention. He was only doing what he was being told by Nicole Kessinger, but Nicole didn't have all of the facts, right? She didn't know all the information because Chris didn't do his job, right? He didn't do the part that he was supposed to do, which is get the information, right? Gather the intel, give it to the mastermind, and then the mastermind is able to plan around that piece of intel. Except Chris is such an idiot that he never even asked. He didn't even care to look. Goodness. Of course, I'm glad it happened this way because, God, or at least Chris, right? At least Chris got caught right away. But still, how are you going to plan such an elaborate murder and then not even check the basics, right? Oh, does she have a doctor's appointment that she's going to miss? Oh, yeah, the girls are supposed to start school. So let's go ahead and disappear everybody on this day when a bunch of things are supposed to happen in the week. I mean, come on. How dumb are these people? Where did they find the phone and who found it? Oh, the phone was found in the couch and it was found by Nick. Um Nicole Atkinson's son. So Nick Atkinson. Mm. All right, guys, let's go ahead and continue. There's a lot, right? This is the long one. Okay, this is a long one. So we might go till 3 p.m. Okay, today we might go an extra hour because I don't want to stop it. There is a lot, and I think we got to piece a few things together here. There we go. Yeah, Purple Mountains. Son found the phone on the couch. Okay, all right, let's continue.
Did you try to text Chris at all?
No, I didn't have his number.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would have.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I just went out there.
Okay. All right. In the time that you spoke to Frankie, and the time you showed up there at 5 o'clock, did you see anything else come across Facebook or talk to anybody else?
Um, no,
Try to text Shanann?
yeah, I tried to text her.
Okay.
I called, I think I called my mom or something and let her know what was going on. I talked to a couple of our friends from back home just to kind of get more of an insight of what's going on. When was the last time somebody saw her? Excuse me, stuff like that. I got Nicole's information that day. Cause I had talked to her on Facebook before, but I didn't have her number or anything. So I got that then so I could talk to her, but I didn't end up talking to her until later. Yeah.
Okay. So you tried to text Shanann.
Mhm.
Do you remember about when you did that? Do you still have those by chance?
I should. No, I don't know what time. It would have been between 2 and 5.
Okay.
I would have Facebooked her. I don't think I would have texted her.
Oh, okay.
Because Facebook's always the fastest way to get a hold of her.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have anything from
Yeah.
the 13th at all?
I don't think so. I don't know how I would have. I don't think I called her. Because like I said, I usually don't text her. No, because my last text to her was from the 9th. Maybe I called her. I honestly don't remember.
Well, if you happen to stumble across those.
Yeah, I have another cell phone at home. It's
Oh, do
my
you?
kid's phone, so
Oh,
I don't,
okay.
maybe, I don't know why I would have used that one though, but I can still double check.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you happen to run across those, could you take screenshots of,
Yeah,
of any times that you tried to get in contact with
yeah,
them? And then send me those on the email. There's fine.
okay.
So, yeah, that'd be great. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. So when you went to the house about 5 o'clock, what did you see there?
It was Chris and Amanda and Nick Thayer were there. I'd never met them, so. Um, I mean, he answered the door, gave me a hug.
Ugh.
I asked the logical, like, are you okay question. And he said no. And then, I don't know, I started looking around. So like, I saw her shoes by the door, and then I saw like her suitcase, and then I saw like one of the kids' toys under one of the chairs in that living room when you first walk in. And then I looked upstairs, cause I just glanced upstairs, and he said something like, I had to close the doors. And I was like, what? And he was like, the doors upstairs. He was like, I had to close all the doors. He's like, cause I can't, it's like, I can't handle going up there and seeing everything. And I was like,
What?
okay. And he was like, the toys and stuff. So we walk into the kitchen where the Thayers were, and I noticed that there were like toys and stuff in the living room. So my first thought was, so you can see the toys downstairs, but you can't see the toys upstairs. But, you know.
That's what I thought. Okay, what? See, that's what I thought too. I'm like, oh, hey, hold on. She noticed a toy under one of the chairs downstairs, but he's cleaning all the time. Yet one of the girls' toys was still under the chair downstairs. And then he says, oh, I had to close the doors upstairs because I can't see the toys because they're too much for me right now. I get too emotional or some bullshit. Yet the toys were okay downstairs? And hold on, why are there toys downstairs? Is this weird or am I thinking too deeply into this? You guys let me know. Do we think it's, I don't know. Is this something that we should look into or what? I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think right now. Are the toys downstairs something? Should we look into this? Should we give it attention? Yes, are we gonna fly away and Kay's broomstick? Like a scene from ET. E.T. phone home. Right? That's NK though, right? That is NK phone twister. Ugh. Oh God. Now we're ruining ET for us guys. Oh my goodness. Gets ruined by these two. Eric Isa, thank you so much. Aw, thank you. Chris Watts and NK are so dumb to think that they were going to get away with it. Yeah, were they supposed to just live happy ever after and not think that Shanann's friends and family were going to be persistent about what's going on? Exactly. Bunch of idiots. Yeah, they thought they were gonna run away into the sunset and no one was gonna ask. Oh, what happened to Shanann and the girls? Oh, I don't know. They just disappeared. They just left. I don't know. She left me for another man, right? And then people are just gonna be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense," and never look for them. I mean, come on. They don't live in reality, do they? They do not live in reality at all. He felt nothing. So I wonder who put the phone in the couch. I think it was Nicole Kessinger. Right, Lehigh, to answer your question, I think it was Nicole Kessinger. To do this, you would pick up completely nothing today. No plans, no appointments, no starting school. You would pick a time after everyone had checked in. Yeah, if this was really planned ahead of time. Yeah, except they're dumb. Except they're dumb and they didn't plan it right because they're like, I just need it to be done right away, right? Because someone didn't want to be second fiddle. So they were not going to wait and plan this the correct way, in my opinion. I wonder where NK is working. Nick Thayer, part of the meetup in East Lake Park community. He always brings comedian Andy, or what is it? Aaron. Okay, Aaron Greenberg to mind. Oh, right. Yes. Such a flawed plan. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and keep listening. This part I thought was a little weird, right? Especially with the toys, and now he's saying, "Oh, I can't go upstairs." He closed all the doors. Is he afraid he's gonna get haunted in the middle of the night? He did say that. Remember, he said that in the front porch interview. He's like, "I can't even sleep here. I had all the lights on at night." Yeah, because he annihilated his family. Scumbag.
Just that there were like toys and stuff in the living room. So my first thought was, so you can see the toys downstairs, but you can't see the toys upstairs. But, you know. I asked him if he had heard anything, and I asked him if he had gone and like looked around at all. And Nick jumped in and was like, no, the police told us not to go search. And I was like, why? And he was like, that because they said it wouldn't help. And so then I looked at Chris and I was like, so you haven't gone and looked anywhere? And he was like, no, they told me not to. So that doesn't really seem logical to me, but okay.
Yeah, no shit. This is not logical for anyone. Oh, they told me not to, so I'm just not gonna look. I'm just gonna sit here and wait. Who does that? Right? Really, if your family is missing and the cops tell you, "Oh, don't go look for them," you're still gonna look for them because you're missing your family. This is so crazy. Oh my goodness. I can't believe this. Right? He didn't go out to look. This was the biggest giveaways that he didn't go out to look. He's asking the cops, "Oh, what should I do? I'm the husband and my family is missing. Cop, what should I do? Should I go look for my family? Is that something I should do to make me look less guilty of stuff?" But still, the cops are like, "No, you don't have to." And he's like, "Okay. I guess I'll just play some video games." All right, he wasn't a video game guy. Whatever. He was watching TV. He was watching his sports. I mean, come on. This is not logical whatsoever, right? She says it herself. She's like, "Wait, hold on. That's not logical. Just because the cops told you not to go look for your family, you're not going to look for them? Come on." All right, guys, let's continue. Listen to her breaths. Whose breaths? Whose breaths? Listen to her breath. Wait, whose breath are we listening to? Deep breaths. All right, guys, let's continue.
You haven't gone and looked anywhere? And he was like, no, they told me not to. So that doesn't really seem logical to me, but okay. Um, and he was wearing like a tank top shirt, so I kind of naturally was trying to see if I could see anything, and I didn't.
She was on it.
I asked him,
She was on it. Did you see that? Oh my gosh, she's on it. She's like, "Hold on. You did something." Right? It's the thing is it's almost natural to think that if a family goes missing, you look at the spouse. It almost always happens that way, doesn't it? Every time that a spouse or someone goes missing or they die, you look at the spouse and you're like, "Hold on. Hmm. What did you do?" And you start looking at their arms. That's what she was doing. She was doing such a good job. Yeah, exactly, Julie. Yeah, she got the creep vibe from him. Yeah. Well, because he's acting so weird. He's acting weird. How exactly? Just Josie. Yeah, come on. You're looking for your family. Exactly, except he's just standing around in a tank top. Right? In a tank top. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know. The cops told me not to look." Come on. It's so obvious that he was hiding something because he wasn't acting like a normal man who was missing his family. He was acting more chill, right? He was acting relaxed so that he wouldn't seem guilty. He forgot to pretend to be worried for his missing family. Goodness. Absolute moron. Yeah, he's twice baked potato, crispy and dense from the outside and mush. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, he's crispy and then you just squish and you're like, "What in the world?" Oh man. He always looked like he's lurking around like somebody's ready to break in a window or something. Oh, who, Chris? With his eyeball just twirling. He's like, "Is that a window? Is that a window? Is that a window?" That's probably why his eyeball twirls, right? He's checking all of the windows downstairs in the basement and he's like, "Where's Nikki?" Right? He's like looking at all the windows to see where she's gonna enter from. So that's why his eyeball just started twirling. Oh man. Twice baked. Oh man. All right, guys, let's continue.
when was the last time you talked to her? Did she seem weird when you talked to her? What time did she get home?
She's a good friend.
And I was like, well, I'm trying to figure out how this came up, but I was asking what the police had said. And he was talking about how they asked him who he called or like if he tried to get a hold of anyone. He was like, "I called everybody I could think of." And I was like, well, that's funny because you never called me.
Oh shit. She's on it. She is on it. I like her. I like her. She's like, "Hold on. What do you mean you called everybody you know? You didn't call me, mofo." Right? Yeah, it's so true. Chris, he said, "I've already exhausted all the friends that I know and all the friends that my friends know and the friends that the friends of the neighbors' friends know. I've already exhausted everybody," he says. So then he says, "Maybe it's someone I don't know." Yeah, except he never called Lauren. He never called any of her friends, it seems like. Goodness. God, what an absolute idiot.
And he was like, well, I guess I just wasn't thinking. I was like, Chris, I live 20 minutes away. I've known her the longest. You didn't think to call me. I was like, why? I mean, you knew I was going to see her this week. Why wouldn't you just assume, I would have known where she was? Because I had to find out from her brother, and that kind of irritated me. And he was like, I don't know. I called everybody I could think of. And when I did end up talking to Nicole, that wasn't true because he didn't call anybody from what she said. So that kind of irritated me a little bit because it didn't feel like he was trying of sorts. But I also had to think, okay, well, he's never been in this situation before. I can't really judge his reaction, but he wouldn't make eye contact with me when we were talking. He kind of looked at the floor the whole time. I feel like saying he acted weird doesn't really help anything, but he just didn't, I don't know, he just didn't really seem concerned of sorts. Because I was trying to ask all these questions, because I was like, well, I'm gonna go drive around, and he was like, no, they said that wouldn't help. It's like, well, I'm going to anyway, like I can't not at least go try.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, we kind of stood there awkwardly in the kitchen. I played with the dog for a little bit. The dog wouldn't really go near him, which wasn't really unusual because the dog didn't really like him anyway. Um,
Oh man. Even Dieter didn't like this mofo, right? Even Dieter did not like Chris. But notice that she said, oh yeah, Dieter would not even get near him. Yeah, because Dieter probably witnessed everything that morning. Dieter knew. He was aware of what was happening. Oh my God. Yeah, Shanann's friend saw right through him right away. Cassie, too, right? Nicole Atkinson. All of her friends can see right through him. Everyone knew that Chris was acting weird. He's looking at the floor. He's not even giving eye contact. He's saying, oh no, don't go out and look because the cop said it's not helpful. She's the only one that is actually trying to go out and find her friend. And it's the husband, the dad, that is saying, oh no, don't go. It's not helpful. And he's just hanging out in the tank top, right? Showing off his macros and his tiny little biceps, right? He's like, oh, look at my biceps though. Mm-hmm. Come on. Yeah, Dieter knew he was a prank. Ah, Dieter absolutely knew, you guys. Dieter knew. Right. Her ability to recall situations and names is great. She knows so much. She can name a date, a friend. She asked him this. He looked like that. He acted weird. Dieter wouldn't get near him. Oh, but it doesn't matter because Dieter didn't really like him. I mean, she knew a lot. And again, it's very telling that Chris didn't call her. She's the one who was the closest, 20 minutes away. The one who knew Shanann for the longest because they knew each other from their hometown, right? Back in North Carolina. So he knew not to call her. And that's why. It's because she was asking him all of these questions that made him super nervous. He wasn't able to look at her, right? Straight faced. He couldn't look at her dead in the eye because he knew that she knew that there was something up with him. And that happens with everyone that we see Chris interact with, right? He won't look at the cops directly unless they're asking him questions and he's like, "Mm-hmm. Yeah, I answered the phone." But if it's another weird question and he doesn't want to answer the question, he like looks around, he does a lot of pointing. He's like, "Yeah, I was trying to jimmy it." He's trying to do a lot of distractions. Except with her, he couldn't because she knew that he was lying.
but like,
Damn.
he was especially just not hanging out with him. I asked him if there's anything I could do, if he needed anything. He said no. He said he was gonna try and go back to work on Tuesday, like the next day. And I was like, I don't think you should do that. And he was like, well, I can't stay here. And I was like, I understand that, but I don't think going to work is a good idea. And he's like, well,
Imagine your family is missing and all you can think about is going back to work. Even Nicole Kessinger told him, don't go back to work. Isn't that crazy? I know I ask this and I say this all the time, but is Chris stupid? Yeah, he is, isn't he? Let's go ahead and ask you guys. I'm going to ask you guys in the chat. I know I've asked this before, but clearly he's so dumb. He's so dumb. All right, let's go ahead and see our last poll. 128 votes. Look at that. Who do we think threw the marriage book in the trash? Chris. Chris, because he moved on. Oh, wow. Really? We think Chris threw it in the trash because he moved on? And look at that. Nicole Kessinger being petty. Chris Watts staging the scene. And Kay staging the scene is last. Oh, wow. That's really cool. I mean, it's interesting to see different answers. I thought maybe it would be NK staging the scene, but no, it's last. Huh, that's really interesting. So we think that he moved on. So he had already moved on, and that is why he was searching, right? I mean, I do see that. I do see that. Huh. Okay. Angela, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. I love this friend that yeah, she is so on it. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go ahead and ask this other question. Okay, is Chris? Yeah, he moved on. Okay. Yeah, it's really interesting to see the results of that poll. Okay, is Chris okay, yes. Okay, and then no. Don't think so is going to be one of the options. All right, and then our last one is going to be need more evidence. Just want to see what you guys think. Okay, we're asking the question about Chris, right? Because he's such a moron, right? He's so dumb. So let's go ahead and ask this question. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do this poll. Yeah, she's throwing Chris under the bus. All right, guys, the question is Twisterfer a full-blown moron? Yes, don't think so. Just half-baked moron, or need more evidence? He was throwing everything away and closing doors, literally. Yes. He was done, for yet still spent that night talking to her. Right? It's such an easy poll, I think. Look at that. 33 votes, 92% say yes. 2% say don't think so. So I wonder if Cindy is in our chat, maybe. Maybe Lizzie, right? Who knows? Maybe Lizzie is in the chat. She's like, no. I don't think my fiance is a full-blown moron. Just half. Just half. I verified it. I verified it before I got engaged to him. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't ever see him going back to look for the dolls. Coonrod saw them while talking to Sandy. Oh, man. All right, guys, let's continue.
Well, I can't stay here. I was like, I understand that, but I don't think going to work is a good idea. And he's like, well, because I asked him if the police told him to stay at home or if he could, go search or whatever. And he was like, no, they said I could, they said I could go do whatever. That's what he said. He was going to try and go to work.
Again, that's why I'm asking the question. Is Chris just a full-blown moron? Like, does he not get it? He's going to work. He wanted to go to work on Tuesday, right? I think is because he wanted to go see Nicole Kessinger, right? He couldn't wait to go see her. But even Nicole told him, you can't go to work, Chris. Don't go to work. I'm not going to work, right? Nicole's probably like, I'm not going to be there, so you better not meet with me at the vending machines. You better not go meet with me at the hallway. No, I'm not going to give you any more gift cards, Chris, because we need to keep it on the down low. Except Chris is like, no, I'm going to go to work. Yeah, I think that's the normal thing to do while my family is missing. Oh, this guy, he's so stupid. Yeah, he wanted to see NK at work. He wanted to see NK at work. Even NK is like, no, that is not a good idea. You're going to throw me under the bus, Chris. Huh. The moron wanted to go to work, you guys. Oh my God. It's like every time that we see a new video, he just gets dumber, doesn't he? I mean, he's always been dumb, but I feel like we're able to measure his intelligence with every video that we watch on him. Look at this. He wanted to, come on. Yeah, that's because Nicole Kessinger was at work. She was at work. Look, she was at work at around 2 something, right? Because that's when she's calling Chris Getman. We see her. She is making calls from Platteville, Let's go ahead and just check her phone logs real quick. Just real quick. Right? Let's go ahead and do the verification right here. Right here. Look at that. 228 Platteville. 235 Platteville. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to go to work so he can see her. Oh, oh my God. What an absolute idiot. Yeah, even Nicole said, no, 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 no. You're not going to go to work. No, you're going to stay home. You're going to pretend to be missing your family. You need to go look for them. Go act like you're missing your family, Chris. Again, Nicole Cassinger has to hold his hand throughout this whole plan. This is how dumb he is. So this is why I don't believe and never will that Chris did this by himself. He is so stupid that he needs to be told not to go to work. Oh my God. Very useful idiot for an NK's ego. Yes, he's a useful idiot. I love it. Yes, that's perfect. That's a perfect way to describe Chris. He's a useful idiot.
I was like, don't do that. Um, he just kept saying how he didn't want to be at the house.
Because he wants to be with Nicole.
And then I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go drive around, let me know if you need anything, keep in contact, let me know if you hear anything. And then he walked me to the door and hugged me and I left. So that was.
So I think you described him as just kind of being weird. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Hold on, before we get into this, I'm just having a hard time imagining Chris. He has the police in his house. He has canine units over. He has all of the friends thinking he's done something. And all he cares about is meeting with Nicole. That's all he cares about. That's why he wanted to go to work. He didn't want to be at home because he wanted to be with Nicole. Like, that's how desperate he was to be with her. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Like, holy shit, even Scott Peterson, okay? Even Scott Peterson wasn't this desperate. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna play it cool. I'm gonna make, I'm gonna make it seem like I'm not really all that into you. Like, Scott Peterson was not like this. He didn't murder Lacey and then run straight to his mistress and he's like, oh yeah, let's go do this and that, let's go do that. No, he's playing it cool, right? The whole time. Scott, yeah, he's still an idiot, but my goodness, he's a lot smarter than Chris. Chris, he's like, no, no, no. I murdered my family and I need to go be with the woman that I murdered my family for. He didn't care about anything else. Ugh, this is so nuts. This is nuts.
It wasn't that he was sad. I mean, because that's kind of what I was expecting. I was expecting him to be like visibly like emotional of sorts, but he seemed really just like confused almost. Like I said, he wouldn't make eye contact, so whenever he would talk, he would look kind of down at the floor. So it was almost like he was in a daze and just talking. Like he just wasn't, there was no, what I felt like there was no connection between him and what was going on. He was just kind of physically there and just talking.
Yeah, he's on autopilot. He's on autopilot because he doesn't have any guidance from his mistress. So he's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I don't know where they are. I think I'm going to go back to work tomorrow. I don't know. The police said I can just do whatever. I'm just going to go back to work. Okay. He's on autopilot. He doesn't know what else to do. That's crazy.
Was his demeanor that day different than other days you had seen him?
I mean, he wasn't like smiling and happy or anything, but then again, there was really nobody there. It was kind of he was just very, what's the word, like nonchalant almost.
Yep. Wow.
Tell me about the shoes at the door.
She said that he was almost nonchalant. He was nonchalant almost. And you know what? I agree with that. I read here. I just want to somebody said something really really interesting. I agree with. Where is it? I don't know where it went. Ay ay ay. Where did it go? Where did it go? I can't remember. Okay, but someone said something about okay, like, think about how confused he was because yeah, he annihilated his family and then Nicole Kessinger just kind of stopped talking to him. So he's here like, hold on. The plan was to murder family, be with Nicole. Family is murdered. Why can't I be with Nicole? Right? So he's kind of confused. He's like, hold on. I did all this. Why can't I be with you though? And Nicole's like, no, you can't be with me yet. Call me when this is over. Right? I mean, she said that. She literally told him, you reach out to me when all of this is over, meaning when the investigation is over, right? Oh, that is when we can go back to seeing each other and talking to one another. But no, obviously it wasn't going to happen because Chris went away forever. But I think that that's probably what's happening. What do you guys think? Do you think he's confused? It's probably a combination of things, right? I mean, he murdered his family. He's confused because he's like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think he's scared though. I think at this point, I don't think he's scared. Or what do you guys think? Do you guys think he's scared? Yeah, NK dumped him. Right. Huh. Yeah, he's an idiot if he didn't have anyone holding his hand. Yeah, exactly. I think he was lighting up her phone so much that she quit answering him too. Yeah, he's only worried about two things getting to see NK, yep, and worried about getting caught. No concern for anyone but himself. He's definitely confused. Oh, so you guys think he's confused. All right, let's go ahead and do this poll. Okay, this is going to be one of our last polls, I think. Oh, it is. It is going to be our last poll. Okay, look at this. Is Twisterfer a full-blown moron? 88% said yes. Oh, just half-baked. Some of you think he's only a half-baked moron. Okay. All right, so only half of his brain is baked. The other half is full potato. Okay, I see that. Look, 2% need more evidence. All right, we definitely have a lot of that. Right, so yeah, keep watching. I'll definitely add more evidence. Don't think so. One person. I think that was probably Cindy that answered that one, or who knows? Probably Lizzie, right? Do we think it's Lizzie who answered that question? Okay, last question, last poll of the day. Do we think that Chris? Okay, no, I don't want it to be that question. What is Chris feeling? That is going to be the question. What is Chris feeling here in this specific right now that Lauren is talking about it? How she's like, oh, I don't know. He felt he was nonchalant. He seemed confused or in a daze. What do we think is going on? His brain was so close to fire. He wanted to talk. He wanted to talk about what they did. Okay. What do we think? What do you think? He's confused, right? He's confused about everything. Okay. All right. What else? What else? He was high. Really? You think he was high AF? In a daze? You think Xanaxed? Oh, do we think that he was on drugs? Do we think he was on something? What do we think? What do we think? Plea deal. I know. It's so dumb. Need more evidence because I need more evidence from his childhood as opposed to being an adult. Oh, okay. Oh, you need more evidence of his childhood to see if he was not dumb as an adult? Sorry, I I'm trying to understand your answer there. Okay, confused because of Shanann. Okay, so then what is the last one? What do we think? Oh, nervous? Okay. So we think he was nervous? He's confused. Okay. Okay, and then I'll just put the last one will be nervous about getting caught. Okay, let's go ahead and do this poll. And hold on, wants to C and K. Okay, let's go ahead and start this poll. All right, the question is, what is Potato Head feeling here? He's confused and wants to see NK. He's heartbroken about NK. He needs guidance from NK, or he's nervous about getting caught. Which one? Which one do we think it is? But then again, he's such a shifty control freak and he is clueless. What about scared shitless? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if he was scared shitless, that is nervous. Okay, so that'll be the nervous answer. He didn't sleep at night. That's a good one. He was more comfortable being in the background. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely pick the last two. I mean, I guess pick the one that you think is the most, and then, we can always combine them, right? We can always combine. Definitely nervous. Okay. Okay. He chose to go to Gen Pop for more perks. Not a wise choice. Why did they interview every person on Shanann's Facebook, but not Jim or Danielle? Good question. Or did they just not put the interviews in Discovery because she got immunity? Good question. Good question, Boops. That is interesting that they interviewed everyone except for Nicole Kessinger's friends. Now, I do see them interviewing all of Shanann's friends because they knew her directly, right? They were trying to find her. But again, if Nicole Kessinger had some involvement and if she needed an alibi, why did they not ask Jim any questions, or Danielle, or Charlotte, or Gino, or anybody? Really, Sean, ask some of her exes, right? Ask some of her childhood friends, even. But no. No one asked her. But that's a good question. I wonder if it's because she received immunity. That is such a good one. You know what? I'm going to write that one down. Because again, I don't even know if they really did interview them. We just don't have those interviews. They even interviewed Charlotte, but Charlotte was peripheral. Yeah, that interview, I wouldn't even really call it an interview, right? It was so basic. It was kind of like they interviewed Charlotte only as to cross off part of the list, right? They're just like, oh, I guess we have to interview her. Sure, let's go ahead and call her. And even that interview was tainted. It was tainted because Kevin is giving Nicole Kessinger all of the evidence, right? Or not the evidence, but giving her a heads up, right? He's asking her, oh, what's your friend Charlotte's phone number? I'm about to call her. And Nicole's like, oh, okay, should I tell her that you're about to call? What an idiot. Why is he tipping her off? Just so much incompetence in this entire thing. Of course, I will always give credit to Tammy Lee and Graham Coder. They did an amazing job. And Dave Baumhover. He also did a good job. Everybody else, nope. They need some training. I'll see you guys. See ya, Jennifer. Was Charlotte a recorded interview? I've never heard it. It was... It wasn't even like a full audio interview. And see, that's the thing. Even Amanda McMahon and the other guy, what's his name, Trent Bolt, even they got interviewed. We even have interviews of them, not just audio, but video footage. Yet we don't have any of those interviews from Charlotte. We don't have any of those interviews from Danielle or Gino or Jim or anybody else in Nicole Kessinger's life. Crazy, crazy. Okay, the bombshell evidence was NK throwing Chris under the bus and then NK getting some kind of immunity deal. Yeah. I think that we're all starting to agree, I think, with that, huh? That Nicole Kessinger was supposed to throw him under the bus and that's why she got an immunity deal. He was blindsided, NK kicking him to the curb. He was blindsided, yeah. I don't know about Bonhor sent a search warrant to meet him on accident. Oh, that's right. That's right. I'll give him, I don't know, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Poor guy. He was traumatized. He was traumatized by this whole thing. So I'll cut him some slack. Poor Dave. I will cut him some slack. But yeah, that. I do see that, boobs. Right? He sent the search warrant to the wrong person. What else? What else? NK must have told them where the girls were. I don't even understand what they thought she brought to the table. They didn't need her. They really didn't. They just wasted their time with her. Who brings a mistress in there and says, right on tape, if you don't want to answer anything, don't answer it? Good question. She was trying to save her own skin because she was only with him for her own personal ego. Yeah, she didn't really care about Chris Watts, in my opinion. Hi, guys. Jim was the getaway driver and had no idea. Yeah, if there's any if there is any involvement with Jim, I really think that he did not know. I think he was really trying to get on Nicole's good side. He was trying to probably get off being friend zoned, and he would do anything for her. Anything. Even give her a ride at 5 a.m. But even that didn't work out. Right, even that didn't work out for him. But again, I don't think that he was involved because he really knew what was going on. I don't think it was intentional. If there was, again, this is just me, if there was any involvement, I think it's because he was blindsided. He was lied to, he was gaslit, he thought maybe, oh, this is that, but it ended up being a murder, it ended up being a quadruple homicide. But I haven't seen anything from Jim that makes me think that he was involved more than just being lied to. But again, it's just me. You guys let me know what you think. If there's anything else that we need to look at, well, then we will. Aw, thank you so much. Thank you, Hot Chocolate Lover. Thank you. Aw, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go ahead and celebrate. Celebrate. Okay, I just want to wait for a few more votes. We have 67. I want to see what you guys think. So far, we have nervous and he needs guidance are tied at 32%. Someone should go undercover on one of Leave Jim Alone's tours. Sorry, should I be more specific? Nikki was protected by CBI. All right, guys. All right, should we end the poll? Let's go ahead and end the poll. Oh, look at that. We still have some more votes. Okay, let's go ahead and bring it onto the screen. Look at that, 69 votes. Quebec was looking for her alibi to see where she was. All right, any more? Okay, well, let's go ahead and end it then. Okay, look at that. He needs assistance. That's what we think is going on with him. So kind of both, right? So he needs assistance from Nicole Kessinger, and he's nervous about getting caught because he needs assistance. So yeah, I mean, they're kind of all. We can say that it's probably all of them, right? It's probably all the above. But I think I agree with you guys. I think it's that because he needs guidance. I think that he wouldn't feel this nervous. He wouldn't be this nonchalant And he wouldn't be acting this weird around people if he had Nicole Kessinger's guidance. Because I think that he felt emboldened by Nicole Kessinger. Whenever he saw her text, whenever he would talk to her, I think that he felt calm because she's the one telling him, hey, Chris, remember, we're going to be together. It's okay. It's okay. Buh. Oh, it's okay, my sexy burrito. Everything's going to be okay. And then Chris would feel better about himself. And he's like, okay, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. But because he wasn't getting that guidance and because Nicole Kessinger was distancing herself, I think that Chris was freaking out. So I think it's all the above. Wow. And a lack of sleep. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, also a lack of sleep. I'm not sure he was too nervous about getting caught for the simple fact that he thought that he was smarter than anyone. Yeah, than everyone. Yes. Nikki telling him to apply on the wax on the car, and it's hot outside and it's starting to stick. And he's like, what do I do now? What do I do now? I can only imagine him asking those questions too when they're playing Twister. All right, he's like, hold on. Is it my turn to spin? Okay. It landed on red, Nikki, and it says it has a little hand. What do I do? Which hand? Which one of my hands do I put on the red, Nikki? He had to ask all these questions. He didn't know anything. He always needed her guidance for all of it. Wow. Maybe he realized that she had lied and manipulated him, and now she was ditching him to save herself. Her arse. Yeah. Yeah, he was probably feeling disappointed, right? Yeah, I think it's a combination, right? That's why I think it's a combination of heartbreak. Look, he's heartbroken. That got 10%. I think it's a combination. He's feeling heartbroken. He's feeling deceived, right? Or betrayed even by Nicole because she's not really returning any of his calls or she's saying, hey, I don't want to see you at work. So I think he's feeling a lot of things right now. God, what an idiot. He deserves all of it. Anadarko used honor systems. Yes, yes, yes. He had trouble reading Twister instructions. Yeah. See, the guy was so stupid that he needed somebody else to read them for him. Oh, Chris, here, put your hand here. And he was like, okay, which one? Which one of my two hands? Nicole had to move his hand over right here, Chris. Put your hand right here. And your leg, which one is it? Oh, you got blue? Okay, put your left leg on the blue. There we go. Chris is like, which one is blue? Oh, what a moron. Is Chris gonna cheat? If Chris was gonna cheat, and Amanda McMahon would have been safer. Someone like him really didn't need to meet NK. I agree, guys. All right, guys. Well, that's all I have for you guys. Yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. This was a long one, 3 hours, but look at this. We are halfway through. Are we? Yeah, we are halfway through. This is such a good video and audio to listen to. So thank you guys so much for recommending this one. Very, very good. I love it. I'm glad that we're listening to this friend. She is awesome. Okay, I like her. You guys let me know, but I like her. She remembers everything. Wait, what am I doing? All right, guys. Let's go ahead and just do a shout out to everybody. AJS Dream, welcome to Diamond. Elizabeth Brown, look at that. Thank you so much for being a member for 3 months. Hot chocolate lover, thank you so much for the super chat. Jessica, Chris has never apologized to SR, the girls, or the Rusex. Yep. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Smart Survival, thank you so much. Jessica, thank you again. Thank you so much for a super chat. I bet NK watched his video way before. I think so too. You know, I think that she was so obsessed with him and with the family that she was Googling anything, right? Anything that says Chris Watts or Shanann Watts, she was all over. I agree. Julie, thank you so much. Thank you so much for gifting memberships. Eric, said, thank you so much for the super chat. Angela, thank you so much for the super chat. Hot chocolate lover, thank you so much. Thank you guys. You guys are so sweet and so generous. Thank you guys. Angela, Soily Blue, if you like pina coladas, thank you so much. Shares too. But look at that. I got it now. See, all you had to do was tell me, oh yeah, it's like share. And I'm like, oh my God, yes. See, now I know how to say it. If you like pina coladas, Soyly Blue, Angela, thank you so much. Angela again, Soyly Blue. If you like pina coladas, Nancy, thank you so much. Tiger, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for everything. Um, yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining today's live stream. It was a little long one, but I think we definitely needed to do this. I was not about to leave halfway through because my God, so much good information here, so much of it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you all had an amazing weekend. Thank you guys so much. If you liked this live stream and you're not subscribed yet, please, please, please go ahead and subscribe. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. And of course, go ahead and like, comment, share, hype, all of that good stuff. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Thank you to my moderators. Thank you to my members. And thank you to my subscribers. Thank you guys so much. And I will see you guys next time. I'll see you guys tomorrow, Tuesday. Yay. It was worth not getting any chores done. Yes, right? Yes, that's how I feel. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather do this than go pull my weeds. But you know what? I need to go do that now. But all right, guys, thank you guys so much. Take care, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.